the clergy and of religious life, preaching with vigor and effectiveness, and always demonstrating special concern for the poor. He wore the habit of a monk and lived an austere life. The draw to monastic life never left him, including the desire for a life of solitude. At one point, he left his diocese so he could devote himself to prayer, but his responsibilities as bishop called him back. In 994, Wolfgang became ill while on a journey, and he died near Linz, Austria. He was canonized in 1052. His feast day is widely celebrated in much of Central Europe. President Donald Trump arrived at his Wisconsin rally yesterday wearing a high-visibility vest after riding in a garbage truck to a press conference, an apparent reference to Joe Biden's previous controversial comments that appeared to refer to the Republican presidential candidate's supporters. The truck was emblazoned with Trump campaign messaging and American flags. "How do you like my garbage truck?" "This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden," Trump said to reporters from the passenger seat. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News. I'm Janet Huxley for the Crusade Channel, seeking news and finding truth.
Did you know that MAGA caps are now going for $50? Well, listen up. I know where you can get a Make American Talk Radio Great Again cap for free. Sign up for a one-year Founders Pass membership, and the cap is yours for free. Sign up today at crusadechannel.com/offer.
Fire and Ice Middays are here. Get animated by the fire of Parrot Talk and the ice-cold chill-out of Turley's Believe It or Else and Fiorella Middays show. The Fire and Ice Midday block begins at 10 Central on the Crusade Radio Network. Live talk radio the way it should be.
Memo to the Trump campaign. You guys should be asking Joe Biden to speak every day from now until Tuesday. You're guaranteed a W. Greetings, folks. Mike Church here with you. We are live on All Hallows Eve. It is Halloween, asking the question of the day.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Well, I'll tell you.
In order to ensure the security and continuing
Stability.
the Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire!
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Secure society!
Yeah. trying to get settled in.
Calling on Congress to pass these reforms, and I'm going to sign them into law.
No, you're not.
Down the thunder will now you got.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Alrighty, our call-in line Halloween telephone number, if you'd like to be on the program today, same as it ever hath been, 844-527-8723, 844-5-CRUSADE, email address, same as it ever hath been, I am KingDude at protonmail.com, I am KingDude at protonmail.com, and Crusader Stadium is open for your commentary and chat at crusadechannel.com/chat. A basket of deplorables. Remember, this was the famous or infamous, depending on whose side you're on, the infamous Hillary soundbite from, I think it was a hot mic moment, actually, from back in 2016. And when Hillary said it, you remember that the reaction was instantaneous. Like, she said, what? She called us what? And, of course, she went, I never meant to say that all of them. Of course, they mean this. You see, the upshot of all this is, folks, when Biden called, 200 days, up on the pressure, I think me and Corn Pop see is garbage. Supporters are garbage. And then I meant to say this, and these clowns on CNN going out there. I think there was an apostrophe at the end of the word. You know, this is funny because Judge Jeanine Pirro said that she went to the WhiteHouse.gov and she actually watched the tape with the closed captioning. There's no apostrophe at the end. She goes, I read the transcript. And I read the transcript and I went and watched it with the closed captioning on. There's no apostrophe there. He said what he meant. And then when the world sort of, hey, man, wait, you mean to say all of them? Oh, that's not what me and Corn Pop, man. Me and Corn Pop are going to... the damage is done, but it's good humor damage. Biden just basically handed Trump an October surprise. You know, media is going to be unpacking this and repackaging it and reanalyzing this for the next 4 years. This is going to be the moment that the shape would have won had Biden not opened his mouth, and then that this is all Biden's fault, and the press didn't get out there, and it was MAGA people's fault because they thought that he really, how dare you, it's almost like they're telling us, how dare you think that we actually hate you? I mean, we really do, but how dare you? How dare you think we actually hate you and think you're garbage? If you've escaped your mother's womb and live, walk, and breathe in these United States, and you're not one of them, yeah, they hate you. Here's the most amazing thing about all of this. There's a couple of things. First of all, Trump took the highest of all high roads. Let me tell you something, Joe. I don't think 250 million Americans are garbage, Joe. Later on in the same campaign event with NFL Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre, Trump basically said, look, I don't think Joe knew what he was saying. But he tried to walk it back. So, Joe, we forgive you. This is what magnanimous, good people do. You forgive. You have mercy, right? You read the Our Father. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So when President Trump comes out there and goes like, well, Joe, we're going to forgive you. We forgive you, Joe. That's an act of magnanimity. Let me ask you a question. Do you think the shape would forgive Trump for anything he's ever said in his entire life? If he said, I got that one wrong, Kamala, I got it wrong. Do you think she would say, and we should accept Donald Trump's apology and have mercy on him? The Harris campaign has now been reduced to three things: killing babies, preventing babies from being conceived at all, and then calling 2/3 of the United States fascists and Nazis. That's all it has. There is a campaign rally that the Shape attended yesterday in Pennsylvania, where she got up there and in 41 seconds, she told 4 consecutive absolute bald-faced lies. As a matter of fact, the things that she accused President Trump of are so scandalous that if this wasn't a political campaign where you kind of expand what you're able to get away with, and she's protected by some stupid civil service act. If it weren't a political campaign, Trump's lawyers would already be serving her with papers that she's going to be sued in court for defamation of character and for slander, for saying things that are just patently not true. And by the way, this is a slander. I looked it up. If the intent was to defame, if the intent was to intentionally defame, and it's not true, that is textbook. You lawyers out there, help me out if I'm getting this wrong. Go into the chat room at crusadechannel.com/chat. Hop on the YouTube chat over there, and you can post it in there. Again, if I've got any of this wrong. If you intend to defame and you know it's not true, but you say it, you speak it publicly, that's the definition of slander. She did it 4 times in 41 seconds. And at the end of the last one, she goes, look at Google it, don't take my, just go. I said, okay, I'm going to take it. I quoted her, and I Googled it. You know what I found out? It's not true. It is 100% patently a lie. So let me just unpack what so much to talk about here today, folks. And so we're so glad to have all of you listening. Join the Crusader Stadium chat room at crusadechannel.com/chat. Welcoming all of you listening on 1010 WXKG in Atlanta. We love our Atlanta listeners. All of you on Rumble. We gain followers every day on Rumble, on X.com, and of course on our beloved Crusade Radio Network channel on YouTube, which grows by leaps and bounds every day. Let me just walk you through some of the transparent things that most people aren't going to catch about this, but that I caught. And this is just low-hanging, easy fruit. But it's what makes all the difference in the world. So by yesterday afternoon, the American garbage MAGA people, it's not the MAGA people, but it's the garbage MAGA people, we're going to go now explore the garbage MAGA tribe. Note that the garbage MAGA tribe, the garbage MAGA tribe are good people. They love to eat and they love to drink and be merry. They also love to wear red, white, and blue, except on Halloween, where they like to wear black and orange. See, I'm in uniform today, black and orange. By 9 a.m. yesterday morning, behind the scenes, the Trump campaign had already sprung into action. And it was decided that, and it was planned that in good old-fashioned, take what did Wrong Emmanuel say? Never let a good crisis go to waste. Take Biden and the Shape's crisis and flip it on them, and take this insult that they hurled, that Biden hurled, and the one that Tim Walz has been running. This guy's going to pay for this. By the way, when Trump is president, there's going to be another instance where Governor Walz is going to need President Trump, and President Trump is going to say, I forgive you, Timmy, but you got to take it back. I would make that fat, pig-headed jerk, I would make him publicly apologize for calling all MAGA people fascists and Nazis. And he's had the chance. He was even asked, do you want to take any of that back? No. No, you saw that rally. We all saw what they did there. I stand by what I said. So you saw Melania Trump as a Nazi. You saw all the people that were there. You saw Elon Musk, the greatest capitalist of our era, the greatest taxpayer in the United States. You saw him as a Nazi, as a member of the Nazi Party. These are not good. Trump keeps saying this, and he's right, and they're going to lose as a result of these are not good people. But let me just walk you through what I think happened yesterday morning, because this is how good people operate. The team probably had their morning meeting. It was probably about the same time we have ours, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, because Trump doesn't sleep very much. And they probably went, okay, what are we going to do with the garbage comment? And it was either President Trump or one of his sons or somebody went, let's make a parody out of it. Let's use it. This is where having accomplished things in your life, knowing how to build things, knowing how to organize people so that they can build things, empowering people that are good at doing things because they've actually been productive in their life. This is where this comes into play. No Democrat could have pulled this off. Most Republicans could have pulled this off. Only Donald Trump could pull this off. By the time yesterday morning, by the time they leave their morning meeting, the message has been sent. Okay, all right, Kellyanne, or whoever the Michael Watley. All right, Michael, who do we know? No, he would have went to someone at Trump International and he would have said, who do we know in garbage? Do we have garbage trucks at the hotels? What do we know about that? And somebody would have said, well, actually, we do have a contract with a provider. We actually, on our job sites or whatever, we actually do have garbage service, and we do own a couple of trucks. Here's the company that makes them. It said, all right, the plan was being made because these people actually produce things that can think in real time. The plan was made, get us a garbage truck, get it there by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, have it decked out in Trump Vance 2024, make sure it is sparkling white clean, and then I want it be decked out with the Trump and America, Make America Great Again, Trump and American flags. It's got to be at the airport at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now get busy and go do it. That Trump showed up, that truck showed up ready to roll. Did you see it? When he got on, this to me, somebody said yesterday, I think it was Elon, make America fun again. How about make campaigns fun again? There should not be this warfare where you're not going to take my right away. Make America fun again. Make campaigns fun again. That plane landed at 3 o'clock, the Trump plane, and then he came out the rear exit. I watched the whole thing, and when they opened the door and they put the stairway up, the gangway, or whatever you call it, the jetway, when they put it up, he was the first one. Well, no, a couple other people got out, but he stood in the doorway, and they were looking at it going like, is that a road worker's vest? So he's standing there. There's no trademark blue blazer, no trademark red tie, doesn't have the white Oxford on, but he's got the garbage pickup man protective and reflective vest so that people can see you from a distance and if it gets dark. So that, there it is, 53 Ford truck, Trump garbage man vest. He's standing there in the doorway of the plane. And then when he comes out and go like, oh, Maggie said, you said this yesterday morning, didn't you? If he shows up in a garbage truck, he's going to win. The greatest radio producer in all amongst all great radio producers of all time, Maggie O'Connell, called this yesterday because he ought to show up in a garbage truck. Sure enough, he showed up in a garbage truck dressed as the garbage man. Billy Payne says they made a call to the Huizenga family. That's right, Wayne Huizenga made his money in garbage, collecting garbage in Miami, didn't he? Used to own what did Huizenga own? I think he owned, I know he owned the hockey team, the Panthers. Did he own the Dolphins once upon a time? He owned Blockbuster. I know Huizenga owned Blockbuster. In any event, he could have called someone in Hey, Tone, the president needs a truck. Question about, we got a truck. By the time Trump gets to the airport in Wisconsin yesterday afternoon, not only does he have his costume on, but in pulls onto the tarmac, and the news media is there, and they're filming this truck coming in, and it's just, holy crap. That's a ginormous, beautiful, sparkling white garbage truck decked out with American flags, Trump flags, MAGA flags, and a ginormous Trump Vance 2024 painted on the side. And then he gets out, he walks past the media, and then goes and gets in the truck. He pulls himself into the truck. I'm going, this guy's the greatest showman in the history of the world. But this is what you do. You illustrate absurdity by being absurd. And you take, and this was a great opportunity, number one, to show good humor. All right, let's not get angry about this. Let's do what good Americans do. Let's make a joke out of it. And that's exactly what they did. They made a joke out of it. It's such a great joke. Now you can go, if you could find one, you could dress up as Trump tonight as Trump the Garbage Man. As a Halloween costume. This is the most epic gaslight troll in the history of the internet. I wonder how many hits. I wonder how many pages Google is going to serve today searching for Trump garbage truck or Trump garbage man. It's probably going to be more than a McDonald's. Look at these two coups, though. These are two public relations coups. This is the equivalent of hundreds of millions of dollars of paid advertisements. But it's not an ad, though. It's real. And you know, all ABC News could do with this is, he doesn't have a commercial driver's license.
Put it in there, or a forklift.
He doesn't have, or what?
He isn't forklift certified.
He's not forklift certified, and he doesn't have a CDL. He didn't drive the truck.
It was right along, dude.
He's so gaslit the entirety of the left-hard media, state-run, state-operated, Fifth Estate media and the media industrial complex. They're all just gaslit right now. And right about last night, sometime around 5 or 6 o'clock yesterday afternoon, it began to sink in newsrooms and in media industrial complexes across the amber waves of Biden's recavation that you're going to lose, Kamala. There's no force on earth that it can undo these PR coups. And people going like, that's my president. That's the man of the people there. I love that guy. Who doesn't like the garbage guy? You know, when you put your garbage can, I want you to think about this for a moment. If you live in a bougie development like I do, and I'd say more than half Americans live in a bougie development, you know there's a garbage truck that comes around. You probably have a schedule. As a matter of fact, ours is coming around today. It comes on Monday and Thursday. You drag the can out to the curb. Dude comes by, and he rides on the back of the truck. He's got the protective vest on. They stop the truck. He throws the can in there, or maybe sometimes they have a mechanical thing that they use now where they pick it up and they dump it. They throw the can in the back of the truck. They empty it. He throws your curb back on the truck, on the curb. And if you happen to be out there, you might even wave at your garbage guys, usually black guys. But they're usually joking with each other and cracking on each other. You don't see miserable garbage. It's an irony, isn't it? The good hard work of being the guys in the back of the garbage truck, and then the driver will be cracking on them and making jokes about them in the mirror and what they're picking up and what have you here. But most people will wave at their garbage guy, right? You don't flip them off. You don't hydrate. Oh, I don't want him to see me. Because he's a regular dude. There's no expectation that you're going to make a best friend. But at the same time, he's a friendly, right? The garbage guy's a friendly. So the point is that everyone knows a garbage man or has seen a garbage man in a garbage truck. You got a guy running for the presidency. You got somebody that comes out and says that all of the supporters of this particular candidate are garbage. And then you have the guy who is the leader of the garbage people, the MAGA garbage faithful. And then they come out and go like, okay, let's make a joke. Hey, Halloween's come up. Let's dress up like garbage people. Folks, the left doesn't have an answer. The left is miserable. These people live their lives playing ball for Satan. They're not funny people. They're not good-humored people. They lie. They steal. They cheat. They deceive. They conspire to kill and to maim. And what do we hit them with? Kill them with, what's the word? Kill them with kindness. You know what? This is us going to all of you in the media, laughing at them. We are all today laughing about this and gaslighting them, and then led by a guy that goes like, I think it's funny. Let's make a meme. Let's make a joke out of it. This is going to end terribly. I saw the polls, the latest polls. If you're interested, I'll just tell you. There were 6 polls. There were 7 polls on the screen on Fox News this morning for Arizona. One, the Wall Street Journal poll had the shape up 48-46. The other 6 all had Trump up. 2 of them had him up by 6. This is going to be a most epic garbage dump.
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Radio Network News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Thursday, October the 31st, 2024. This report is brought to you by MyLearning.com. Give microlearning a try and watch your employees flourish in skills you never thought possible. Book your free consultation today at MyLearning.com/KingDude. In the market report, all 3 major indexes were down at last close. The Dow Jones 0.22%, the S&P 0.33%, NASDAQ was down 0.33%. In National Day calendar news, today is National Doorbell Day. It's also Girl Scout Founders Day. Girl Scouting in the United States of America began on March the 12th of 1912 when Juliet Gordon Low organized the first Girl Scout troop meeting. There were 18 girls present. It's also National Magic Day and Knock Knock Joke Day. It's National Caramel Apple Day, and it's Halloween, of course. Our quote of the day, let us make the best use of the fleeting moments, they will not return. Marianne Cope. And our saint of the day, Saint Wolfgang of Regensburg. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News.
Hey, it's the King Dude for My Pillow. Mike Lindell sent me my first set of My Pillows 14 years ago. I loved them then, and I still love that same set of original My Pillows today. True story. Now, that's a testament to the craftsmanship and quality of the My Pillow. But don't take my word for it. Go try it for yourself. Use my unique code and get huge discounts and free shipping on all orders by going to mypillow.com/KingDude. That's mypillow.com/KingDude.
Did you know it took centuries to develop the Hail Mary prayer? First, the monastics began adding, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you, to the end of their psalm readings. Later, Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus, was added. And by the 15th century, the Hail Mary was complete and took the place of the 150 Our Fathers many prayed daily. Today, the work of art that is the Rosary is cherished by millions, and there is no finer maker of this art than Maggie O'Connell's Little Bayou Rosary. Find her rosary creations today at shop.mikechurch.com.
We all have concerns about the future of America and your family's survival in any emergency. Hi, folks, it's Mike Church, and my friends at Legacy Food Storage take your concerns seriously and will help you prepare for almost any disruptions, from survival gear, power and lighting, to emergency food, and they specialize in educating their clients. Secure your family's emergency plans with the trusted leader, Legacy Food Storage, at LegacyFoodStorage.com. Use the coupon code KingDude for 10% off, and every order is shipped for free.
Now, let's get you back to the reason you woke up early this morning. The Mike Church Show.
New York is everything they say, and no place that I'd rather be. $250,000 when they play their music. Ooh, that modern music, they back it with a lot of style, but it's still that same old backbeat rhythm that really drives them wild.
Everybody sing.
They say the harder rock and roll is the beat.
How you do?
And from what I've seen, I believe I'm
It's the Mike Church Show, defending the truth by conforming the American mind to reality. On the Crusade Radio Network here on Hallowed's Eve. So it is classically known as the Vigil to All Saints' Day. And tomorrow, of course, All Saints' Day Friday. This is a question for Aisha Konis or Brother Andre or somebody that may be listening. And this may ultimately, I guess, be settled or determined by your bishop or where you live. How do you have a double major first-class feast on a Friday? And if you do have a double major first class, doesn't that mean then that the abstinence or the abstinence against meat, which you usually practice if you're a good practicing Catholic, on Fridays, wouldn't you get a dispensation for that tomorrow? Asking for a friend. I generally don't know the answer. I want to say that this has happened once before. And it was the feast of St. John the Baptist and the Sacred Heart that came on. It came on the day of the Dobbs decision. Back in 2020, in 2020. So anyway, I thought I had an extra question. Telephone number 844-527-8723. You can join the Crusader Stadium chat room. Off to a really, really slow start this morning, but it's going to pick up because it's Halloween. CrusadeChannel.com/chat. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at MyPillow.com/KingDude. You can still get that $14.88 classic MyPillow. I don't know when he's going to run out of them, but since he hasn't run out of them, buy them for Christmas gifts. Go to MyPillow.com, click the radio/podcast box at the top of the page, and that will take you to the page where the super sale items, including the $14.88 MyPillow Classic. You need a coupon code. Your code is KingDude. The code is KingDude. Code is KingDude. So, KingDude and you can buy up to 10 of those MyPillows at MyPillow.com. Of course, don't forget the My Slippers and all the other great stuff at MyPillow.com/KingDude. The towels and all that. We have them all now. And remember, you're doing business with those who do business with us. So again, shop today at MyPillow.com/KingDude. So I Googled this. Play the clip where the shape. These people shouldn't do this. If you're going to do this, you better have the right answer. This woman is a liar. I don't know why we're even having this conversation about whether or not this wench is even well, first of all, she's not a natural-born citizen, so she's not qualified. But I'm just going to demonstrate to you, this woman is a liar. She is not only a liar, she's a lying dog-faced pony soldier liar, okay? Lying dog-faced pony soldier liar. She didn't even do what she's asking the idiots. They go, yeah, kill babies. Now, you got to hear this. When a room full of people erupts in joy and starts screaming and howling like banshees over the prospect that they can kill human beings, we don't have the problem. We're not Nazis. We're not the fascists. We're not the deplorables. We're not the garbage. I'm not going to call them any names, but there's something that is wrong with those people. I mean, anyone that thinks that cheering for the murder of a soon-to-be-born human being who is a completely and totally innocent one is something to cheer for, there's something wrong. So there's a disconnect there. This is what we got to work on. You can have all the abortion laws you want. As long as you have these people that are going to show up at these rallies and are going to scream at the top of their lungs like they just got liberated from actual Nazis at the prospect or at the thought that they can take another human being's life, we got a lot of work to do. Just consider the entire continent of the United States or of America as a mission. One ginormous mission. Here, you want to be a saint? Make it your goal to convince people. You know, a good example of this, Maggie, and all our listeners, is that clip that you were playing earlier from Howard Lutnick with Caitlin, what's her name? Oh, it's a great conversation. It is. There's so much epic stuff that's happening out there. Caitlin Collins on the Clinton News Network. She is a brain-dead, propagandized, completely brainwashed, fully functioning member of the Fifth Estate, state-run, state-owned media. She can't think outside of how they programmed her. When you hear this soundbite, all I want you to think of, Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo. Think of the Stick song, Mr. Roboto. She's Mrs. Roboto. Because she just keeps going back, no, they can't be. No, it's not true. No, vaccines are great. No, vaccines have all been tested. They save lives. No, that's not true. And they're going like, she really believes this. This is what happens when you send your children off to these indoctrination camps. They work. They work really well. These people are really good at telling people, at getting people to internalize and believe a lie. So when this campaign, this election's over, oh, folks, the work is just beginning. But here's the shape. It's the one where... It's not that one. Do you have it? Yeah, number 10. You have it, number 10. This should be a disqualifier. Democrats should come out today and denounce this. If they want to remain as a party, and I think that the end of the Democrat Party may actually be coming. It may actually be coming because this is going to go so terribly wrong for them. They're going to be looking for jobs at the back end of garbage trucks. It's going to go so terribly wrong for them. Let me just demonstrate something to you and why she's going to lose. Okay? She's going to lose because she doesn't even believe her own line of BS. I believe what the guy told me. I'm trying to remember who it was, a friend of mine, who said that she's not the candidate, dude. You know who it was? It was Elon Musk with she's the puppet. You know how we know she's the puppet? She's been sent out there to go repeat the lines. Because when the teleprompter goes down, it just keeps repeating the last line like a broken record. 32 days. 32 days. 32 days. Okay, here's the clip. I'll shut up now.
And look, Donald Trump's not done. He would ban abortion nationwide. Yes, even here in Pennsylvania, if he were successful. He would restrict access to birth control, put IVF treatments at risk, and force states to monitor women's pregnancies. Just Google Project 2025. Read the plans for yourself.
Okay, I did.
And let us agree.
Shut up. Don't need to hear the rest of it. Just Google Project 2025 and women have to report to state agencies when they're pregnant. Not true. So here, I have right here, just for poops and giggles, Waltz is false, Project 2025 pregnancy monitoring claims. She made them in September. Now I keep asking, and Maggie even said when in our show prep today, where is she getting this from? Well, they made it up. It doesn't exist outside of their handbook or their playbook. That's where she got it from. Someone in that campaign thinks it's cool and it sounds good and it's just scary enough. Ooh, it's Halloween after all. It's Halloween season. Look around your neighborhood. There's skeletons everywhere. Yes, the big, bad, mean Trump boogeyman is coming to get you. Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz falsely claimed that Project 2025 calls for the tracking of all pregnancies and will require people to register with a new federal agency upon getting pregnant. This, by the way, this is one of their organs. This is factcheck.org. It was either Gates or somebody funded this thing. This is one of theirs, okay? I didn't go to check it out with Elon Musk or someone else. I didn't go to the Heritage Foundation. I could have, and could have word searched the actual Agenda 2025 document, which I wouldn't have found what she was talking about. So this is from them. And they're basically out there saying, stop saying this, it's not true. But when you don't have anything else to campaign on, and when your party and your platform has been reduced to killing future citizens you claim that you want to govern, I've been saying this all year long. This is probably the 500th time I've repeated. Why do you want to kill the citizens you claim to want to govern? What in the hell is wrong with you? Well, they're evil. Short answer, they're evil. Long answer, were they propagandized? Were they brainwashed into it? Were they programmed? Caitlin Collins was programmed, I believe. She came out of Columbia Journalism School, probably. And they actually they just keep repeating this lie and lies so often that it just becomes like, no, that's not true. No, the moon is made of green cheese. No, sweetheart, I'm pretty sure it's not. By the way, Buzz Aldrin is the latest to come out and say, look, I'm 100% in for President Trump, and I endorse him, and I think he's going to appear at a campaign rally with him. Walz falsely claimed that Project 2025 calls for the tracking of all pregnancies and will require people to register with a new federal agency upon getting pregnant. This is so just preposterous on its surface that people should laugh at it. The conservative playbook advocates the reporting of all miscarriages and abortions, but does not stipulate the monitoring of all pregnancies. Big distinction there. Quote, Walz, the governor of Minnesota, inaccurately described Project 2025's policies at a rally in Superior, Wisconsin on September the 14th. By the way, it's what he said. By the way, Project 2025, they got a national pregnancy coordinator that tracks all pregnancies, he said. He then went further to claim that if the ideas in the plan were implemented, people would have to let the government know every time they get pregnant. Quote, think about what they're saying in Project 2025. You're going to have to register with a new federal agency when you get pregnant. This is personal, people, close quote. 3 days later at a rally in Asheville, North Carolina, Walz similarly said it again. Quote, Trump is trying to create this new government entity that will monitor all pregnancies to enforce their abortion ban. Close quote. Well, first of all, Trump doesn't have an abortion ban. So I don't know where this is coming from, but there's more on this, folks. There's some serious stuff that's going on, so pay attention. As PolitiFact and others have noticed, no such policy is included in Project 2025's 887-page book. What Project 2025 recommends, as we've written previously, and we will explain in more detail below, is to expand the CDC and its abortion data collection from states and to make it mandatory. Currently, states are not required to report abortion data to the CDC, but most of them, including Minnesota, do. Project 2025, then it goes on, that was funded by the Heritage Foundation, is meant to be a plan for the next conservative president. That's what they say. Many of those who worked on Project 2025 do have ties to Trump, but Trump continues to say, this is not my plan. I don't have anything to do with it. As we've written, the plan includes proposals to significantly curtail abortion rights. It calls for the president to, quote, enact the most robust protections for the unborn that Congress will support and deploy existing federal powers to protect innocent life.
Where's the problem?
What exactly is the problem with that? Even Bill Clinton would tell you that, well, I think that that's actually pretty good policy. Abortion should be legal, safe, and rare, unless it's one of my mistresses. Did I say that? I didn't. What exactly is the issue with that? The playbook suggests blocking the mailing of abortion pills. What's the problem with that? By the way, the idea here that your mifepristone is just some kind of like cotton candy So I'm talking about baby-killing cotton candy that's inert. It doesn't have any side effects. This is dangerous. Do you think that physicians or that cartels or whoever ought to be making OxyContin pills and you can order them by mail order? Did you think about that outside of a regulation? How smart is that? I have one for you. What about cyanide pills? Do you think you ought to be able to mail order made to kill cyanide pills? And they do make them. Should you be able to mail? You know, and I'm not feeling so hot today. Give me 6 cyanide easy kills. Next day, Aaron, please. Cyanide easy kills. So I think it's ridiculous that in some states you can go to a pharmacy and just go like, hey, yeah, you got Plan Bs back there? I need some. And then the pharmacist will just go, okay, here. Like he's giving you, literally. What you think about this? Say it's trick or treat. Today's Halloween. Most parents, good parents, are going to go with their children and they're going to go trick or treating with their children, correct? Why? Because they want to see what strangers are putting in the trick or treat bucket. They're going to go look like, nah, don't take that. And then when they get home, what are they going to, what most good parents are going to take the trick-or-treat bag, the bag full of the treats, right? Going to dump them on the table and do what? Go through them. Going to look to see whether or not maybe you're a really good parent. You don't want the high fructose or corn syrup crap or whatever. And you're going to, you can't have that. I'm going to pick that. I'm going to pick that out. The point being that parents supervise what their children's put into their bodies. Why should a 15-year-old girl be able to go to a pharmacy and go, yeah, I need some Plan B, and the pharmacy, under the law in some states, has to go, okay, and then hand them something that actually could kill them? This is lunacy here. This is not liberty. This isn't freedom. This is Malthusian wackos. These people are mentally deranged who think that instituting death. Now, I really think that Monsters, Inc., the movie, just nailed it. The kids are young women. The screams that they get out of them are the babies. And then they're bottled and taken back in the form of the stuff, the A word. And then they're ingested by people who need it to get off. Maybe they need it for energy. This is sick. This is the battle that we got to fight. If you want to know what the real battle, it's not the MAGA battle. It's none of those political battles. It's the moral battle. It's the spiritual battle. These people are wounded, folks. They are seriously mentally wounded and deranged. The playbook suggests blocking the mailing of abortion pills, which are used in more than half of U.S. abortions. Joe Doyle has told us about that. By enforcing an anti-vice law from 1873, ending mandatory insurance coverage of the emergency contraceptive Ella. I never even heard of the Ella. You heard of Ella? And ending federal funding for Planned Parenthood and all other abortion providers. Well, the Hyde Amendment supposedly does that. Wait, what exactly is so terrifying and new, even if he were a proponent of Agenda 2025? Am I wrong? Does the Hyde Amendment not? And of course, the Biden regime completely eviscerated the Hyde Amendment, said we're not going to obey it. We don't care what it says. But the Hyde Amendment says you can't take federal funds and kill babies with it. You can't just directly give it to Planned Parenthood and say, hey, have at it. And then they continue. Treatment for sexually transmitted infections, cancer screenings, and contraception services. But Republicans have long sought to eliminate funding for the organization because it provides abortion. It's not a mammogram service. It's a baby-killing service. The plan even calls for deleting the word abortion from every federal rule, agency, regulation, contract, grant, piece of legislation that exists. But it doesn't force families to disclose their pregnancies to federal agencies. And Walz's inaccurate claims come after a series of similar statements by Harris. Okay, she repeated them again last night. The point is, these are lies. She is literally, figuratively speaking, out there campaigning to win the presidency of the United States based upon, one, not having a next generation, aborting it, contracepting it out of existence, and then two, as if that's not bad enough. If that's not bad enough, then accusing the opposition of things that it hasn't done and doesn't plan to do, which back in the old days, when I was a young whippersnapper back in the day, we used to call that a lie. This is literally this is a calumny. This is beyond a lie. I think it's slanderous, and I think it's disqualifying. And I don't think that people are going to fall for it. I asked Maggie, okay, what demographic of people does this appeal to? What demographic of people does that appeal to? The lie that he's coming after your contraception, he's coming after your IVF. I wish he was. Secretly, I can go like, oh, I hope he does, I hope he does, I hope he does. But that's not in the plan. Who does that appeal to? It appeals to malformed, angry, ugly, single cat ladies. And maybe a few of the little faggot soy boys or fag hags that hang around with them. There's a video, you can find it on my Twitter. I'm not going to subject you to it. It's a pair of women who are very attractive that were at the Harris closing argument rally, and they were asked, well, why do you think, and the woman, obviously the young lady who asked the question baited them into the answer, well, what is it that you like so much about Kamala? And then these two just start repeating the same lies. I mean, almost in the same order that the Shape repeated. I'm like, this is dangerous stuff here. There is no thought process, there is no formation, and no one is doing their own personal fact-checking. You know, I think that this kind of, if you want to be afraid of people turning out to be fascists and Nazis, well, then you need to be terrified of the Democrat Party and look at how successful they are. I don't have time to play the whole thing, but you can start with, play a little bit of it. Here, you want to hear an example of this? Play Digital Media File number 11. This is Howard Lutnick on with Caitlin Collins on the Clinton News Network. And this is an example. Now, Collins has been programmed. Someone programmed her. You can start it. We could play just a snippet of it, and then we'll pick it up on the other side of the timeout.
Another person who was on stage recently and was talking about coming into the administration is RFK Jr. He said that Trump has promised him control of the public health agencies, HHS, which would be also, CDC, FDA, USDA, all of these agencies. Is that true? Has Trump promised him basically the HHS job?
So I spent 2.5 hours this week with Bobby Kennedy Jr. And it was the most extraordinary thing because let's face it, we've all heard on the news all sorts of sort of snarky comments about him. And I said, so tell me, how's it going to go? And he said, why don't you just listen to me explain things? And what he explained was when he was born, we had 3 vaccines and autism was 1 in 10,000. Now a baby's born with 76 vaccines because in 1986, they waived product liability for vaccines. And here's the best one. They started paying the people at the NIH, right? They pay them a piece of the money for the vaccine companies. Wait a minute, let me finish. And so
okay, she doesn't want to hear any of this.
Without product liability. So what happened now? Autism is 1 in 34.
Hang on.
Amazing.
Neither of us are doctors.
All right. Pause it right there. Come back at the top of next hour. You got to hear what Tomo Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
The best 1-2 punch in all of talk radio. KV Turley's Believe It or Else and the Midday Show with Fiorella De Maria. Taking your chat room questions and shouting out your comments. 10 noon Central on the Crusade Radio Network. Live talk radio the way it should be.
The Crusade Channel On Demand presents the Deliver Us From Evil tapes, the series featuring former NYPD Sergeant Ralph Sarchi.
The War Trade case was definitely one of the craziest cases I've ever been on, and even Ralph said that it was the most unreal case he's been on in quite some time.
The Deliver Us From Evil tapes, the series featuring Ralph Sarchi, real-life stories of the battle against the underworld, demons, and the people they prowl the world looking to ruin. Exclusively on the Crusade channel. Listen or download the Deliver Us from Evil tapes, Piercing Truth, the Mike Church Show compilations, Mike's feature recordings, and hundreds of other titles in the Crusade Channel on-demand store at crusadechannel.com.
If you want to drastically improve your company's training with bite-sized content that's engaging and customized for the skills your people actually need, well then Learny is for you. You see, Learny's mobile app gives you the flexibility to train your workforce anytime, anywhere. Now I use Learny and so should you. Book your free demo today at learny.com/KingDude. That's learny.com/KingDude.
Broadcasting 50,000 kilowatts from atop the tallest radio tower on the planet. We are KRSD, the Crusade Channel, Madisonville.
Well, it's what our call letters would be if we were.
Just when you thought it was safe to turn the radio on, Turley's Believe It or Else has escaped back to the radio. You have been warned. Weekdays at 10 a.m. Central on the Crusade Radio Network. Live talk radio the way it should be.
Hi, I'm Mahgdalen Rose with today's Crusade Radio Network campaign report for Friday, October 25th, 2024. Here's what's happening today. Former First Lady Michelle Obama will headline a rally in Atlanta a week before the November 5th election alongside celebrities and civic leaders, focusing on engaging younger and first-time voters as well as voters of color. The October 29th event will be hosted by When We All Vote, a nonpartisan civic engagement group that Obama launched in 2018 to change the culture around voting. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the star of a new $250,000 ad buy from the conservative group Catholic Vote, directed at Catholic voters in Pennsylvania, with a planned expansion to other states. In the television spot, the third-party candidate turned Trump surrogate talks about his own faith, then says he's supporting the Republican nominee because he'll take bold action on the economy, on the border, and on restoring children's health. Catholic Vote President Brian Birch said he'd been in contact with Kennedy for months before and after the Trump endorsement. Talking to their positions on abortion, Kennedy, he said, agreed that we need to be spending an equal amount of money on helping women choose to keep their child as we are in helping them to get abortions. Somehow I doubt that Michelle Obama's nonpartisan civic engagement group is truly nonpartisan. After all, when it comes to the Obamas, nothing is nonpartisan. The Crusade Radio Network, live talk and campaign radio the way it should be.
Hey, it's the King Dude for My Pillow. Mike Lindell sent me my first set of My Pillows 14 years ago. I loved them then, and I still love that same set of original My Pillows today. True story. Now, that's a testament to the craftsmanship and quality of the My Pillow. But don't take my word for it. Go try it for yourself. Use my unique code and get huge discounts and free shipping on all orders by going to mypillow.com/KingDude. That's mypillow.com/KingDude.
Did you know it took centuries to develop the Hail Mary prayer? First, the monastics began adding, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you, to the end of their psalm readings. Later, Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus, was added. And by the 15th century, the Hail Mary was complete and took the place of the 150 Our Fathers many prayed daily. Today, the work of art that is the Rosary is cherished by millions, and there is no finer maker of this art than Maggie O'Connell's Little Bayou Rosary. Find her rosary creations today at shop.mikechurch.com.
Attention Coffee Police Academy students. We will now call the roll. CPA candidate Jones.
Present.
Joe Arabica Friday.
Present.
Tommy.
Oh, I'm here, sir. I just can't seem to keep my eyes open since I started drinking this Barrett Bargain Basement Stale Bean Water.
And just why are you violating CPA Coffee Code SPW1AM?
Well, that's easy. So I can save up money to get into the Coffee Cop Academy.
Son, breaking CPA rules so you can get into CPA is no way to become a coffee cop. Now, I'm afraid we're going to have to...
Uh-oh. Sounds like Lou has found the academy, and he's on his second cup of Abbey Roast.
Well, what does he want?
He wants to know why the CPA didn't recognize his Rougarou nouns.
Rougarou nouns? And I'm the one that rejected his application.
Will Lou the Rougarou have his revenge and grind the coffee cop into espresso? Stay tuned to this station for our next episode. And in the meantime, order Abbey Roast coffee at shop.mikechurch.com.
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Radio Network News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Thursday, October the 31st, 2024. This report is brought to you by MyLearning.com. Give microlearning a try and watch your employees flourish in skills you never thought possible. Book your free consultation today at MyLearning.com/KingDude. In the market report, all three major indexes were down at last close. The Dow Jones 0.22%, the S&P 0.33%, NASDAQ was down 0.33%. In National Day calendar news, today is National Doorbell Day. It's also Girl Scout Founders Day. Girl Scouting in the United States of America began on March the 12th of 1912 when Juliet Gordon Low organized the first Girl Scout troop meeting. There were 18 girls present. It's also National Magic Day and Knock Knock Joke Day. It's National Caramel Apple Day, and it's Halloween, of course. Our quote of the day, let us make the best use of the fleeting moments, they will not return. Marianne Cope. And our saint of the day, Saint Wolfgang of Regensburg. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News.
Where do you find gourmet coffee, great barbecue seasonings, and the best must-read books? Answer, the Founders Trading Post store.
Yeah, but how do we get folks to remember we sell so much more?
I got it. Remember the McDonald's jingle?
2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, and a sesame seed bun.
All right, Lou and I will buy.
Well, here goes. Rosary, stickers, lapel pins, stuff from bees, t-shirts, ball caps, download CDs, and reading fun.
Thanks. Now Lou and I want a Big Mac.
The Founders Trading Post store really is stocked like a trading post at shop.mychurch.com. Big Mac sold separately.
Come on, Lou. You can finish your order in the car. Let's get a Big Mac.
There's only one way to get mine and former NYPD Ralph Sarchi's The Deliver Us from Evil tapes, the Amityville Horror 4-part podcast series. Sign up for my Church Doctrine Daily email newsletter at mikechurch.com/evil.
If women living near rivers and taking a pill turns the frickin' frogs gay, imagine what happens to men on the same river who don't listen to Mike Church.
I would walk 10 miles on my hands and knees. Ain't no doubt about it, baby, it's you I aim to please. I wrestle with a lion and a grizzly bear. It's my life, baby, but I don't care. Ain't that tough enough? Ain't that tough enough? Ain't that tough enough? Ain't that tough enough? Oh, you baby, I would.
All aboard that's coming aboard. The freight train of truth is leaving MAGA garbage station. MAGA garbage, deplorable, Nazi fascist station. The Mike Church Show is on via the Crusade Radio Network. This portion of the program brought to you by LegacyFoodStorage.com. Look, you're going to buy stock up on emergency ration food to keep your family comfortable. And any disaster or emergency, like a flood or a weather event, or maybe an insurrection or a rebellion, a brownout, a blackout, whatever the case may be. Or maybe you just want to easy to prepare meals that you can take with you into off we go into the wild blue yonder, off into, you're going camping for the weekend or whatever. Legacy Food Storage, there you guys. And you're supporting the Crusade Radio Network at the same time. So if you're going to do it, and you're going to buy the food anyway, and it's really good food. It actually is very, very tasty. It comes in family-sized packs. It'll feed up to 6. Then shop with our friends at LegacyFoodStorage.com. Make sure you use the code KingDude at checkout. And if for some reason they're having a sale and they won't take the KingDude code, just remember to send me a copy of your order or your name so that I can tell them, hey, this person shopped and bought $600 worth of food, but they couldn't use the coupon code. It has happened because they run sales from time to time. LegacyFoodStorage.com, coupon code KingDude, and if you don't want the desserts, don't buy them. You can also get a sample pack for just $50, so check them out today, LegacyFoodStorage.com, and use the coupon code KingDude. All right. We are delving into the mind. Now I warn you, my friends, you must chasten yourselves and not fall prey to the brainwashing. You do not want to become Caitlin Collins. She is in a mind trap and cannot escape. But vaccines, but health, but we take it for granted. We really do. You know, I had an incident in 2000, and let's see, my daughters would have been 18 to 20, 15 to 2012. 2012, I had an incident where my daughter's mother, my ex, was going to have them inoculated with Gardasil. I had already heard that this stuff was bad and it was dangerous. But of course, you had Rick Perry out there, the governor of Texas, trying to mandate it and trying to force every young lady under 18 as part of a vaccination schedule. He ultimately lost. And I don't remember that I ran into RFK Jr., but I did run into some really good people. Some of you maybe you're listening right now. Maybe it was you. Because several people said, TKD, you need to read this. Do not allow your daughters to be vaccinated with Gardasil. It's dangerous. And so I read up on it, and sure enough, this was my first entry. I haven't been out there crusading against vaccinations. My children, like most of yours, probably are. I'm new to the game. But in 2012, though, I learned all about Gardasil, and I had a little bit of an argument with the ex. I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. Here, read this. And ultimately, she didn't, and they never received it. But most people, how many people put a fight up? As I did. How many people put a fight up for their toddlers? How about for the infants when they come barging into the hospital and shove a Social Security card at you and say, fill this out. Make your kid get a Social Security card before they even leave the hospital, before they've had their first piece of solid food, they're already a ward of the state. But then they start going like, okay, we're the first of the vaccination schedule will begin today. And I'm not sure how many you get at the hospital, but there are some that are very early. None of this stuff has ever been studied. It could not possibly have been studied long term because they were in a hurry and they needed to make the money, which is why they had to have what Howard Lutnick is talking about. Now, I want you to listen to this because the woman the CNN girl, Caitlin Collins, cannot conceive. You may as well be telling her that water is a rock. You may as well be telling her that a rock is liquid. All right, resume the clip from last hour here. Well, we only played a minute of it. I guess you can play the whole thing. Well, no, you can pick it up from where, because they're deep into the conversation.
Wait a minute, let me finish. And so all of these vaccines came out without product liability.
You hear?
So what happened now, autism is 1 in 34.
Okay,
amazing.
Neither of us are doctors. Vaccines are safe. RFK, I mean,
Why do you think vaccines are safe? There's no product liability anymore. They're not proven.
Kids get them and they're fine.
Why do you think they're fine?
But because they're proven scientifically to be
How about this? There was 1 in 10,000 people with autism. We all know so many more people with autism than had it when we were young. Oh, come on.
Okay,
I mean, his point is really interesting.
But
so here's what he
vaccines don't cause autism, which is what RFK pushes, which is why people are concerned that he could get a job.
He's not a pusher.
And I don't even
he's
think
not getting a job for HHS. What he's trying to do, here's what he wants to do. He said, I want data. I just want data because they block the data.
But the data's out there.
Wait, it's not.
They don't block it. You can look at it. It's online.
He wants the data so he can say, these things are unsafe. He says, if you give me the data, all I want is the data, and I'll take on the data and show that it's not safe. And then if you pull the product liability, the companies will yank these vaccines right off
tomorrow morning
of the market. So that's his point. He's not trying to do anything but things that made sense. And look,
This is not where I thought this was going, because...
Well, I spent 2.5 hours
RFK Jr. is a vaccine skeptic. He pushes lies about vaccines. And I don't
Does
even
that
think
push lies?
I think he pushes lies. Why you said you said I'm not a scientist and you aren't. So
yeah, but
he just wants
scientists
data.
say he pushes lies.
Oh,
here's
but
my
scientists
question
will
on-
Oh, gosh, did you hear this?
I mean, let's give him the data. I think it'd be pretty cool to give him the data. Let's see what he comes up with.
Okay.
I think it's pretty fun.
He pushed conspiracies about COVID. He had to apologize for tying vaccine questions to what happened in Germany during the Holocaust.
I promise you.
Oh, good Lord. Does everything have to have a relationship to
I
Nazis?
think he would not be in charge of HHS.
No, of course not.
Okay, so he's not going to be
He's
like
not
an
going to be the
acting...
secretary. No.
Well, he couldn't
That's
get
not what he
confirmed,
wants
but would
to
he
do.
be in an acting position
That's
or
not what
anything
he
like
wants to
that?
do. I just told you what he wants. He wants to help get data.
You're saying he wants
so can
access to
prove
data,
things.
but that
he
would
just
be...
wants data, and he wants to prove things are wrong. And he says, if I can't prove they're wrong, that's fine. But if I can,
but you
save
can.
millions of Americans' lives and make their lives better. And I think that's pretty cool.
I'm not sure
so
any
he's
data...
just trying to do it.
I don't think any data would back that up, but...
So you've already made your mind up. I don't think there's any data that can back that up. You know what? When somebody came at me back in 1990 or so, it was Al Gore. As a matter of fact, when Al Gore came out of the woodwork with the ozone hole theory, I, as a responsible, truth-seeking American, sprang into action, folks. Mike Churchill band with a classic.
Baby is flame retardant. Even Bush knows that. You're driving a big car. I come on your radio. I say the end's close. You just say no. I say it's global warming, but you call me a liar. And now this world's on fire. Late at night, you're lighting your home. I say solar's the way. You say you wanna burn some coal. I say your carbon footprint makes the seas rise higher. And now the globe's on fire.
Fire.
You set the world on fire when your car starts. A grill you like to cook your cows that fart. The nerve of flushing, not composting poo. If you'd only go green, the planet would cool. Mercedes and Chevrolet, Lincoln and Toyota. Nature, she can't let them make up any more odors. I hear the planet, and I hear her crying, because this world's on fire. Gee, that was a great song. Maybe
Right, you all know the rest of it.
Hey, I thought it was over.
And anyway, in 1990, I sprang into action because I had a radio show. I was just generally curious, but it didn't sound right to me. Common sense. I was going, wait a minute. The AC guy's killing the world? I know an AC guy. This Freon stuff is killing the world? This is what was claiming. CFCs. Now, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago and ignited a maelstrom of pettifogging correctorsons in the chat room at crusadechannel.com/chat. You got the number wrong on the Freon. It wasn't 12, it was 9, or whatever. The basic premise was this. The AC guy comes out to charge your home air conditioning unit. He takes the little cap screw off of the input valve. Now, it has threads on it. No CFC is bled out into the air during the process. Now, it is possible when he goes to push in, to push the nozzle in, or the nipple as they call it, and then to twist the screw that has the threads on the inside down, so you make a nice seal. It is possible that a couple cubic millimeters, a couple of molecules might escape. This is what Al Gore and the gang were claiming, and then this is the best part. These CFC molecules had traveled from AC units across the United States, only place in the world, across the United States, and had gotten together in a gang and said, let's go attack the ozone layer. And it all migrated north to the North Pole. And they're going aha, we see you, ozone layer, you're going to get it, bucko. And then the CFCs set themselves to battle ozone and to kill it. And then they went up there, and all the CFCs and made cars and all of these home AC units all went up there, and they just were burning a hole in the ozone layer. In 5 years, we're not going to... Al Gore actually made the claim on the floor of the United States Senate. I'll never forget it. In 5 years, we're not going to have an ozone layer. Now, this made me want to, first of all, I couldn't stand him. But second of all, what made me want to learn about it? So I did. I educated myself. I actually read real scientists. I read S. Fred Singer. I read the guys at Huntsville, Alabama, in the climate lab. I read Richard Linson at MIT. I read the Access to Energy guy, Peter Beckman. I read Dixie Lee Ray, the former governor of Washington. My point being, I wanted to actually know. I didn't just want to be a stooge or a tool and just say, no, that's not true. So I freaking educated myself, and I learned that it was not true that ozone is being made right now. Ozone molecules go in the atmosphere. It is not a finite amount or made right now. It is sun, UVA, striking an oxygen molecule, bam-o, you get ozone. Happens every day. No way you can't turn it off. Secondly, do you know why there was maybe I'm boring you people to tears with this, but do you know, I hate these people, and I hate the fact that they're so damn freaking lazy. Woman, Caitlin, educate yourself. He's not lying to you. He's not a skeptic or denier. He actually uses and has studied the science, what little there is. Because the propaganda that comes from Pfizer and Wellcome, GlaxoSmithKline, whatever the hell, these pharmaceutical companies are. Lutnick's right. You remove the product liability, they pull all of them off the shelf tomorrow morning. No child will ever get vaccinated again with anything other than polio, maybe. But what do you find out? You know why there's if you're interested in this, because it's going to happen this winter, and you'll probably hear some green news scam idiots squawking about it. Do you know why there is an ozone hole over the North Pole? Because the sun, okay, here's the Earth. Here's the Earth, 23 degrees, right? As it rotates around the sun, when it gets over here, this end is closer to the sun. That's summer. When it gets over here, this is the sun, okay? Sun, Earth. Look how much farther the North Pole is away from the sun. There's not enough UV. It's as simple as that. There's not enough UV to penetrate the atmosphere at that angle and zap the oxygen molecules and turn them into ozone. That's all that happens. By the time the Earth starts rotating back around, by the time you get to spring, UVA and UVB are zapping oxygen molecules and are making ozone. Ozone layers fixed. There is never a hole. There's a depletion in it. Like 30% is the most that ever goes. My point is, this whole thing was a damn scam. If Caitlin Collins wants to talk about liars and scams, ozone and CFCs are the biggest scam in human history. Well, you know, asbestos was probably the biggest scam, actually, and the removal of asbestos. But every AC unit now made has to be made with this HCFC crap. It's volatile. It's more expensive. It doesn't last as long. The coils burn out ultimately. You got to replace your air conditioning unit. I got a 1995 Kenmore refrigerator out there in that garage. Maggie can vouch for it. It's the coldest refrigerator in the damn house. You know why? Because it's an old school refrigerator with old school coils and old school Freon in it. So, you know what, Tar Heel Militia? It's funny. He said, well, come on, TKD. Mesothelioma was the greatest scam. I used to tell my children, I used to joke about it when we were watching some stupid program on the National Geographic or whatever back in the day before I got religion. And the commercial would come on for mesothelioma. They go like, Daddy, what are we going to do about this? And I'm like, I'm going to hope that I get mesothelioma. That way I can call the hotline and I can get you and I can get us our $2 million. And they're like, but won't you get sick? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. Besides, I don't think I actually have to have it to get the money. The mesothelioma. Mike Church Show here on the Crusade Radio Network, celebrating garbage. You know, that I was surprised that Corinne Jean-Pierre didn't come out and go like, first of all, Peter, he wasn't saying garbage. What he meant to say was garbage. And you, sir, are certainly not garbage. You are garbage. Still talking about the epic Trump troll of all things cackala and all things the shape. I want to stay on the subject of elections for a moment here. There are a lot of you cynics still in the Crusader Stadium chat room. Hey, man, go right on ahead. Predict doom. Predict that these... Again, I go with Don from the Bronx. You think that these people are, like, infallible. You think that these evil people, that all of their plans come true. How come you don't ever think that the good guys, the guys that have grace on their side, why don't we ever beat these people? The fact of the matter is we do. But you go on right ahead and their sinister plan is going to prevail. There's no way Trump ever gets elected anywhere. He's going to lose Louisiana. No, he's not. He's going to lose Florida. They're going to cheat. No, he's not. He's going to lose all. No, he's not. He's not going to win South Carolina. No, he's not. No. As you spout them out, I'm going to go. There are more secretaries of state and cheaters that are already in trouble and are probably going to jail with 5 days to go than the entirety of the aftermath of 2020. The Secretary of State of Colorado is going to jail. She is going, now, of course, now there has to be a prosecution. She is going to jail. The people of Colorado should demand that this wench go to jail. What is the digital media file? You have it in here. I know I sent it to you, didn't I? Jocelyn, no, that's the... Jenna Griswold, number 12. She goes on to... Okay, here's what happened. She leaked out. Her office did not follow security procedures and protocols and transmitted the passcodes, the passwords to Dominion voting machines interstate. Now, this is kind of funny here because I'm going like, wait a minute, I thought the Dominion machines couldn't connect to the internet. And people come in, they go, the watchdog groups go, hey, wait a minute. That means anyone with the passcode can access that machine and can change the vote tally. But wait a minute, we were told in 2020, remember in our conspiracy theories here, because we're all sickos, and every conspiracy theory has already been laid the rest of 20... No, it hasn't. I thought we were told that those machines could not connect to the internet. Well, there's two secretaries of state that ought to go to jail, and hopefully they will. Jocelyn Benson in Michigan, and there's Jenna Griswold Winch. This is the one that's to kick Trump off the ballot in Colorado here. She presided over this. Now, this guy that does the interviewing, oh, Lord, this guy ought to get an Edgar R. Murrow Award because he's like, okay, well, this is what happened. And she goes, well, I'm just going to have to sort of push back a little bit. Hey, sweetheart, you go ahead and push back all you want. You're going to jail. If I were you, I'd see, do I look fat and orange or do I want to be in black and white pinstripes? I would go ahead and start modeling which color you want to be perp walked in. And the upshot of this is these people are criminals. So here's Kyle Clark is the interviewer.
To be very clear, we do not see this as a full security threat to the state. This is not a security threat.
You do frequent media interviews warning of the insider threats to elections. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security defines an insider threat as somebody who uses authorized access wittingly or unwittingly to do harm. Did the actions of your office pose an insider threat to elections?
Oh, come on.
No.
In 2021, when Mesa County's voting system passwords leaked, your office said, quote, the public disclosure of the BIOS passwords for one or more components of Mesa County's voting system alone constitutes a serious breach of voting system security protocols. By that standard, did your office commit a serious breach of voting system security protocols?
Well, to push back on you, Kyle, that sentence is in the press release, but there is a much bigger press release. And part of that investigation in Mesa County was 2 sets of passwords, unauthorized access, stolen passwords, and it was in a different time, since 2021.
Oh, all right, hold on. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Back in the 1990s, in the heyday of broadcast TV, NBC called its Thursday night lineup must-see TV. Well, that was then, and this is now. And the only must-see TV is the Mike Church Show, simulcast on Crusade TV. You can watch the Dude Cam live feed with the video clips of the day when you become a Super Premium Founders Pass subscriber at crusadechannel.com/go. Sign up today and also get the Crusade Premium audio feed, all my podcasts. Sign up today at crusadechannel.com/go.
Silver and gold.
In these turbulent times, buying silver and gold is such a no-brainer that even snowmen know they should do it. Now, all precious metal dealers claim to be the best, but only one can claim they are endorsed by the KingDude, and that's Miles Franklin. My friend Andy Scheckman's a regular guest on my show and a regular genius when it comes to silver and gold, and I trust him with my silver and gold purchases, and so should you. So email Miles Franklin today for your exclusive Mike Church Show discount price list. info@milesfranklin.com.
Did you know that the rosary began as a tool to give laity a form of common prayer like what was being prayed in monasteries? And monasteries were praying all 150 psalms from the Bible. But most laity couldn't afford a Bible, and most couldn't read, so they began praying the Our Father 150 times a day. Today the rosary is prayed by millions, and each one is a work of art. There is no finer maker of this art than Maggie O'Connell and the Little Bayou Rosary. Find her rosary creations today at shop.mikechurch.com.
Did you know that a Make America Great Again cap is now going for $50? Well, listen up. I know where you can get a Make American Talk Radio Great Again cap, the next best thing, for free. Go to crusadechannel.com/offer. Sign up for a 1-year Founders Pass membership that includes all my podcasts, the 24/7 premium live stream, and much more. And the cap is yours for free. We'll even throw in a POTUS 45% discount. There's only 24 free caps available, so you gotta act now. Go to crusadechannel.com/offer. Do you hear that, Maggie?
Do I hear what?
You don't hear the sound of bees buzzing about?
No, I see the result of that buzzing about and these beautiful new beeswax candles.
We sell candles now?
Not just any candles. These are handmade beeswax candles.
Well, that explains me imagining bees.
And they come in different sizes. There's a votive, a 3-day, and a 7-day size too.
Well, that should start a buzz in the store.
It better, or you'll get the buzz.
Order handmade beeswax candles today while supplies last at shop.mikechurch.com. Hey, my Pitmaster bros, it's summer, and I want to make sure you have everything you need to rule your family's barbecue taste buds. Remember to smoke your meats at low temps for long times with southern hardwoods like pecan and mesquite. And to make sure you've got the best blend of seasoning there is, stock up on my award-winning Beast and Butt Rub. Right now, you can get 2 bottles for just $20, our biggest discount ever. To claim this deal and get my new 50/50 sweet and fire rib recipe, head on over to shop.mikechurch.com. That's shop.
Now, let's get you back to the reason you woke up early this morning. The Mike Church Show.
making American live talk radio great again because I was raised in a middle-class family. I have ambitions and aspirations, and I seek an opportunity radio market. That's not to love. It is the high testosterone Mike Church Show on the Crusade Radio Network.
Simply irresistible.
This portion of the program brought to you by coffee. All right, you people, big coupon code today, garbage. Today's Founders Trade and Post store coupon code is garbage. Take 20% off on Halloween. Use the code garbage. Shop.mikechurch.com. We got a brand new shipment in just the other day. The garage smells heavenly. Of Capuchin, Holy Roast, and Whole Bean, and lots of bags of grind. I ordered double the amount of grind to make sure that all of you guys could stock up. So, go get you a bag or 10 today. Throw some beast and butt rub in there. Casey Means is good energy. Maybe a handmade Holy Rosary. If you pray the Rosary, it's all there and much more. Don't forget the Mancipio Maria cigars. All at the same place. Shop.mikechurch.com. All day today, take 20% off. That's a lot. That's a big sale. I love a sale. 20% off. Coupon code GARBAGE at checkout. Shop.mikechurch.com. All right, Maggie, just play the B-roll footage. Folks, we have breaking news. Breaking! An 11-year-old boy has been assaulted by a Trump supporter. We have the incriminating film. Roll the tape. Obviously, an angry Trump voter. Poor kid. You MAGA fascist, leave that kid alone. Hey, garbage can, leave that kid alone. And finally, the kid just gets mauled by the garbage can, and it's all over but the crying. We will be dispensing Halloween candy here at the church household this evening in dark, hefty trash bags with MAGA hats. And I'm going to, you know what, you know what's going to be sold out today? You know what no one in the United States is going to be able to purchase today? A fluorescent yellow and orange safety vest. You will not be able to find a single one of them anywhere today. They're all going to be sold out because all the parents tonight, many parents are going to go dressed as President Trump. As the garbage man. Oh, folks, it's... All right. Did we finish the Jenna Griswold? Was it finished?
It had like 3 seconds.
Okay, that's fine. This is a huge scandal, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. The scandal is this. The big cheat is in. You know, by the way, Biden launched this cycle's October surprise. Again, I started the program off and I was joking this morning. If I were the Trump campaign, I would be sending an invitation. Hey, Joe, you want to speak at this? Hey, Joe, are you sure you don't want to speak at this event? This guy wants to interview you. I would be pleading with the broadcast media, please interview Joe again. Please keep him in front of the cameras until Tuesday. So the Secretary of State of Pennsylvania, Secretary of State of Michigan, Secretary of State of Colorado are all nefarious creeps. Jocelyn Benson is another criminal. Now, Ms. Benson, I remember clearly her in 2020, in December of 2020. I remember her testifying in front of the Michigan, I want to say it was the Michigan House of Representatives, maybe it was the Michigan Senate. I remember her testifying and said, that's impossible, that couldn't have happened, these machines don't connect to the internet. Now, why the Detroit Free Press and Michigan newspapers aren't reporting on this? Because she freaking said it. I heard her say it. We played it right here on the Mike Church Show on the Crusade Radio Network. So did all the other secretaries of state that were using Dominion voting machines. Remember, they don't talk to the internet. Well, apparently they do. And so now the passwords to get into the machines have been leaked out by the Colorado Secretary of State. By the way, Jenna Griswold, I can't wait for you to get measured for a jumpsuit. You are literally ELO's evil woman. You are evil, you're deplorable, and you're despicable. And yes, some witches should burn. Yes, you are a witch. And yes, the MAGA faithful, as an act of justice for what you tried to do to President Trump to keep him off the ballot using the 14th Amendment, yes, you are despicable. And you leaking those passwords out, folks, they're being busted before they can commit the crimes issued. You guys are all you cynics, you're all missing the point. All of you. The bad guys are being caught in the act, sometimes of preparing for the steal and sometimes of executing the steal. No, they're not all going to be caught. And I'm not so naive or stupid to say that. We're not going to catch all of them. They are going to cheat. There are going to be cheats. But I saw yesterday Lara Trump retweeted that tweet one more time. I put it on my Twitter. You can find it there. They tweeted it out again. A reminder, and she listed the crimes. If you aid, if you assist, if you participate in any way, shape, or form in election interference or fraud, we're going to find you, we're going to prosecute you, and you're going to jail. So don't give me this crap that the fix is larger and greater and bigger and that the bad guys always win. As many of you, I think you want to believe. It's almost like you believe in the bad guys. You don't believe in the good guys, but you believe in the bad guys. Well, I don't think the bad guys are going to win. And I think they have the most detestable, rotten candidate in history. And I also think that some of their henchmen are actually going to pay for what they've done. Now, play the Jocelyn Benson clip. This one is huge. What do you mean you got a malfunction and some votes aren't going to be counted? You didn't test this previously?
It failed in testing.
Okay, that's the rhetorical question. Wait a minute, you didn't it failed. She intentionally put voting machines on the voting lines at precincts in Michigan, knowing they weren't going to work. I don't know who your AG is in Michigan. And I don't care if it's a Democrat or not. There will be a new Attorney General of the United States. You don't get her at the state level, get her with the feds. Election interference in a federal election ought to be a federal freaking crime. Now just listen to this.
The issues with the programming of the VAS with specifically
yes.
from Dominion.
Mm-hmm.
Why was that only caught in the past few days, and why can't it be fixed? I saw the release with the...
Yeah, this is a nationwide issue with Dominion voter access terminals in the counties that use them. And the voter access terminals, of course, not all the machines, just the ones that are accessible, have an issue with the straight party voting and a programming issue that's, again, affected the machines nationwide. And I think all of us that use Dominion machines were unhappy to learn about this.
Were you really? You don't look very unhappy.
And as early voting began. So we're working with Dominion to seek accountability on that front, and also are working with our clerks to ensure voters are aware of this programming issue that will require them to ensure they are voting every section on the ballot.
Bigger issue in Michigan because we do allow voters to cross over in ways that allow other states don't. Because
we have straight party. It's not struck me as I've talked to my other colleagues in other states. They're just as upset about it as we are. So
why'd you contract with them then?
Surprised, I think. Yeah.
Dr. Loomis, what kind of a woman does something like this? Chef, that was no woman. Stop my own tape! How the hell did they not know? This is bullshit. Sorry, I had to use the French because it applies. This is absolute straight up BS. All you have to do is count votes. That's all you do by definition, is count votes. You don't do anything else, lady. You sure as hell don't look good. Her one, it's like they say, you know, you joke, you had one job to do, just one, and you couldn't even do that. This is, the failure here is simply stunning. You have one thing to do. Count votes. You are the supervisor in the state of Michigan of the people that work at elections, help people to the polls, answer questions if need be, check IDs and that stuff, and then you put all this together, and then you count the votes, and then you announce the results. That's your one job. The one thing that you have to do, and you blew it. Not only did you blow it, now I don't know if you caught what she was saying. You can't vote party line. So on these fancy schmancy party line ballot machines, you're supposed to be able to go in there and just hit Republican or Democrat if you're a dumbass. So hit Republican and it just votes for all the Republican candidates and you don't have to do anything else, depending on how many there are. The party line function is broken. Don't tell me that that's an accident. That is completely and totally avoidable. It is completely and totally fixable if you can program it. It's just an extension of a piece of code that you would just tell the machine, okay, you can allow, multiple selections. You have if and or propositions in there. It's not hard to do. There's probably kids out there that could program a computer program to do this. And the world's largest electronic tallying of votes couldn't figure it out. You're done. This should be done. Congress needs to freaking do this. In January of next year, they need to propose a bill, and they say, look, we do agree that the Constitution leaves the times, manner, and the means of elections to the states. But we're insisting on, where does it say? Article 1, Section 4, the times, this is what the Constitution says. The times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof, but the Congress may at any time by law make or alter such regulations except as to the place of choosing senators. Now that to me says right there that Congress can say, and here's how they use this prior to the modern age of lies, liars, and cheaters. They use this to say that all election day is going to nationwide is going to, for all federal elections, is going to be whatever it was, first Tuesday in November. That's what that's the power that they exercise. And then maybe even you a little further saying that all ballots have to be cast by midnight on that day or something to that effect. That's the power that they exercise. As a student of the U.S. Constitution, I don't see anything in that clause that would not say that and all elections must be by paper ballot, but the manner and the size or the color of the paper or however they are printed are left to the states to decide. That to me would be fair and equitable. You could also say, and you could also have as an act, you could clarify Article 1, Section 4 with an amendment. Clarify the damn thing. And say that only citizens of the United States are permitted to vote in federal elections. This isn't a hard amendment. I can write it in 2 sentences. Congress may, by appropriate legislation, enforced. And look, Steve Ducey, look what he's got on. Look, he's got. He's walking down the street with his Trump garbage man vest on. This isn't, folks. My problem, my issue with this is this isn't even hard to fix. We ran elections for 232 years without a problem. Or 228 years with pretty much paper ballots without an issue here. Do you know how they did it once upon a time? Here in Louisiana, we had these machines that weren't electronic. They weren't computers. But you would go in the booth, and there was a button, and you had to kind of push it. And when you pushed it down, a light would come on and would confirm that you had made that selection. And then there was a lever on the side. And when you had made all your selections, you whacked the lever and you could hear the machine going, you could hear it actually physically counting the votes. You know, that's still probably not perfect. I'm with everyone who said, give me a paper ballot. If you're too stupid to fill a paper ballot out, you shouldn't be voting anyway. This is not a hard problem to solve. We're making it like it's going to the frickin' moon. But that woman right there and those people that knew that those Dominion machines had that glitch in there, I wonder what other glitches they have that we don't know about. Mike Church Show in the Crusade Radio Network. Okay, I want to... You people that are watching on the YouTube, we only 4 measly new subscribers yesterday. That's not going to cut it. Because almost 1,000 people browsed by. So you need to take this seriously and subscribe to the Crusade Radio Network. Now, I let Maggie choose somebody yesterday. You didn't pick me anybody, so give me a name today. Pick somebody that says, hey, I just subscribed to the channel. Pick me. For the free Mike Church autographed Make American Talk Radio Great Again embroidered baseball cap, Mike Church Show embroidered baseball cap, and the box full of Mike Church Show Crusade Radio Network swag. Go subscribe. If you're on YouTube right now, click that subscribe button, go in the chat and say, hey, I just subscribed. And we can confirm that because you can look at the subscriber list. And Maggie's going to pick one. I like this guy. I like this gal. I think that she'd look great in the Make America Talk Radio Great Again cap. I want to give a swag pack away on YouTube today, damn it. But I need you people to participate to do it. So, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And people like Schaefer, don't run over there and go like, ooh, I canceled my subscription and I went subscribed again. Somebody actually did that yesterday. I'm like, guys, come on, man. We're trying to expand the Crusade. If you need a free cap that bad, send me an email. I'll send you one. Play digital media file here. Where are we going? Oh, this is a good one. Play digital media file number 4. There's so much stuff going on. We haven't even gotten to the Trump in the garbage truck with Brett Favre at the rally. You know, why don't you play that one? Because we haven't played it. This is the most popular hour of the program. What number is that? That is... Well, you can play Brett Favre and then the Trump clip. Because he shows up in the garbage truck. This is just such epic trolling. Has anyone ever trolled better than Trump? No. I don't think anyone has ever trolled their enemies better than Trump. By the way, Crusader Stadium chat room is open as well at crusadechannel.com/chat. Brett Favre.
I want to address the comment that Joe Biden made yesterday, or last night, that said the supporters of Donald Trump, us, or garbage. I can assure you we're not garbage. How dare he say that looking out? I see police officers, teachers, nurses, grandparents, students. I see everyday Americans that make this country great.
Now, you know that Brett Favre has Parkinson's disease, so pray for Brett. He almost is a kind of Cajun Cannon. He's right there from Picayune. He's 35 miles from here. Great Brett Favre, NFL Hall of Fame, MVP of Super Bowl, Dr. Dracula. Yeah, that one. Okay, and then Trump comes after him. So digital media file number 8. This is just the greatest troll in history, but there's a magnanimity to it, too. And this is what I want. He's the most hateful. He hates everyone that disagrees with him. He sneers down his nose at ordinary people. That's just a lie, and people know that it's not true. But when he says we ought to forgive Joe, that's an act of magnanimity. That's what a leader does. He made a mistake. Okay, he probably didn't even know that he made the mistake. It was the joke, kind of a jab at the same time. Roll the digital media file. Here's Trump in the garbage collector uniform.
Are not garbage. This week, Kamala has been comparing her political opponents to the most evil mass murderers in history. And now, speaking on a call for her campaign last night, crooked Joe Biden finally said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage. No way. No way. And they actually mean it, even though, without question, my supporters are far higher quality than crooked Joe or lying Kamala. Higher quality. My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. That's true.
Pause. Stop the tape. Stop the tape. Quickly. That's not nothing. That's a really profound statement. You can't lead. This applies to leadership in general. Most people that are good leaders are loved by the people or the men that they lead. Okay? It's a difficult thing. Trust me. I know. He's right. You can't lead people if you don't love people. Remember, Chesterton says in one of the, that might be an orthodoxy, that a man does not go to war and fight what he hates. What's ahead of him that he hates or that he fears. A man goes to war and fights to defend what is behind him that he loves. Roll the tape.
President, if you hate the American people, which I believe they do, and Kamala Harris is not fit to be president of the United States, in no way is she fit. She doesn't have the intellect, the stamina, or that special quality that real leaders, people like Brett Favre have. They don't have it. They don't have it. They don't have what he's got. Few people do, to be honest with you. Joe Biden's comments were the direct result of Kamala's decision to portray everyone who isn't voting for her, which is a lot of people, as evil and subhuman. And we know it's really what they believe, because look at how they've treated you. They treat you like garbage. They treat our whole country like garbage, with open borders, with all of the horrible things they've done to hurt our country, inflation that should have never happened, allowing Russia to go into Ukraine, October 7th, and Israel. All of these things would have never happened if you had a different president.
Talking about people like that she does, that aren't going to vote for her, and that's a lot. Mark of a true leader there. And again, that's $100 million in TV ad buys. You know, they left the networks trying to explain, well, how are we going to get him on this one? Oh, he doesn't have a CDL. He's not forklift certified, they said. you?
Fire and Ice Middays are here. Get animated by the fire of Parrot Talk and the ice-cold chill-out of Turley's Believe It or Else and Fiorella Middays show. The Fire and Ice Midday block begins at 10 Central on the Crusade Radio Network. Live talk radio the way it should be.
The Crusade Channel On Demand presents the Deliver Us From Evil tapes, the series featuring former NYPD Sergeant Ralph Sarchie.
Ralph learns that 11-year-old Lily has endured so many frightening encounters with these spirits that they have begun to take a heavy toll on her.
The Deliver Us From Evil tapes, the series featuring Ralph Sarchie. Real-life stories of the battle against the underworld, demons, and the people they prowl the world looking to ruin. Exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Listen or download the Deliver Us From Evil tapes, Piercing Truth, the Mike Church Show compilations, Mike's feature recordings, and hundreds of other titles in the Crusade Channel On Demand store at crusadechannel.com.
At the start of the American Revolution, the Founding Fathers had to answer the question of what kind of government they wanted to live under. Today's patriots are asking the same question, and many think that Confederation needs to be rethought for the 21st century. Now, Ben Franklin helped the patriots' cause with his Join or Die drawing. Well, I've taken that drawing and changed it to Secede or Die and put it beautifully on t-shirts and sweats. Grab a Secede or Die shirt in any size today at shop.mikechurch.com.
You're listening to the Crusade Channel, a Black Hat Studios media property, broadcasting live 24/7 from Madisonville, Louisiana, and to the world via crusadechannel.com.
Crusade Channel News. News you can trust. Because the truth can be trusted. From the Crusade Channel News Desk, here's Janet Huxley.
Good morning, Crusaders. Welcome to Thursday, October 31st, 2024. I'm Janet Huxley, reporting for the Crusade Radio Network News Desk, live from the Dothan Farm and Ranch, south of Kansas City, Missouri. This report is brought to you by MyLearning.com. Give microlearning a try and watch your employees flourish in skills you never thought possible. Book your free consultation today at MyLearning.com/KingDude. Here's what to listen for this hour. President Trump calls on a crowd of supporters to forgive Biden. Pennsylvania ABC affiliate station apologizes for airing test 2024 election results. North Carolina appeals court rules against Republican National Committee, and Trump wears high-vis vest and rides in a garbage truck at Wisconsin rally. President Trump called on a crowd of supporters to forgive Biden after he compared Trump's supporters to garbage. Wow, that's terrible, Trump said, invoking Hillary Clinton's infamous deplorable remarks. And then she said, irredeemable. That didn't work out. The Republican nominee called on his supporters to forgive Biden during a packed rally at the PPL Center in Allentown. You have to please forgive him. Trump said Biden doesn't really know what he said. A local ABC affiliate station in Pennsylvania apologized this week after test results for the November 5th presidential election mistakenly appeared on Sunday during a broadcast. In a statement published on its website Sunday, WNEP-TV said the numbers showed up on the channel's broadcast of the Formula One Mexico Grand Prix on Sunday evening and were not reflective of any actual vote. Those numbers should not have appeared on the screen. It was an error, the channel said, adding the numbers were randomly generated test results that were distributed to news organizations to make sure their equipment is working properly in advance of election night. Overseas voters who have never lived in North Carolina will still be allowed to cast state ballots in the 2024 election after the North Carolina Court of Appeals denied a petition from the Republican National Committee. A unanimous panel of 3 appeals court judges denied the RNC's request to block an order from a lower court. Wake County Superior Court Judge John W. Smith recently denied the RNC's motion, finding that Republicans had not provided substantial evidence showing that people who should not be voting have voted, for crying out loud. The appeals court also rejected a bid for a temporary injunction. Our quote of the day: let us make best use of the fleeting moments. They will not return. Marianne Cope. And coming up, our saint of the day. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News.
Where do you find gourmet coffee, great barbecue seasonings, and the best must-read books? Answer, the Founders Trading Post store.
Yeah, but how do we get folks to remember we sell so much more?
I got it. Remember the McDonald's jingle?
2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, and a sesame seed bun.
All right, Lou and I will buy.
Well, here goes. Rosary stickers, lapel pins, stuff from bees, t-shirts, ball caps, download CDs, and reading fun.
Thanks. Now Lou and I want a Big Mac.
The Founders Trading Post store really is stocked like a trading post at shop.mychurch.com. Big Mac sold separately.
Come on, Lou. You can finish your order in the car. Let's get a Big Mac.
There's only one way to get mine and former NYPD Ralph Sarchi's The Deliver Us from Evil tapes, the Amityville Horror 4-part podcast series. Sign up for my Church Doctrine Daily email newsletter at mikechurch.com/evil.
Our saint of the day is Saint Wolfgang of Regensburg. He was born in Swabia, Germany, and was educated at a school located at the Abbey of Rathenau. There he encountered Henry, a young noble who went on to become Archbishop of Trier. Meanwhile, Wolfgang remained in close contact with the Archbishop, teaching in his cathedral school and supporting his efforts to reform the clergy. At the death of the Archbishop, Wolfgang chose to become a Benedictine monk and moved to an abbey in Endisteln, now part of Switzerland. Ordained a priest, he was appointed director of the monastery school there, and later he was sent to Hungary as a missionary. Emperor Otto II appointed him Bishop of Regensburg near Munich, and Wolfgang immediately initiated reform of the clergy and of religious life, preaching with vigor and effectiveness, and always demonstrating special concern for the poor. He wore the habit of a monk and lived an austere life. The draw to monastic life never left him, including the desire for a life of solitude. At one point, he left his diocese so he could devote himself to prayer, but his responsibilities as bishop called him back. In 994, Wolfgang became ill while on a journey, and he died near Linz, Austria. He was canonized in 1052. His feast day is widely celebrated in much of Central Europe. President Donald Trump arrived at his Wisconsin rally yesterday wearing a high-visibility vest after riding in a garbage truck to a press conference, an apparent reference to Joe Biden's previous controversial comments that appeared to refer to the Republican presidential candidate's supporters. The truck was emblazoned with Trump campaign messaging and American flags. "How do you like my garbage truck?" "This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden," Trump said to reporters from the passenger seat. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News. I'm Janet Huxley for the Crusade Channel, seeking news and finding truth.
Fire and Ice Middays are here. Get animated by the fire of Parrot Talk and the ice-cold chill-out of Turley's Believe It or Else and Fiorella Middays show. The Fire and Ice Midday block begins at 10 Central on the Crusade Radio Network. Live talk radio the way it should be.
Era of the Biden regime, the Mike Church Show lives by the creed, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And if that doesn't work, move to Grenada.
All 1980s coterie of the greatest bumper music ever made in that decade. Dedicated to Jeff Schaefer. It's a long distance dedication, Jeff. Casey Kasem here. Dedicated to Lord Sidious and all the other 80 haters out there. Don't hate the 80s. Mike Church Show on the Crusade Radio Network. Here on Thursday, 5 days to go to Election Day. Performing the show with half of my testosterone tied behind my back just to make it fair. A oasis of toxic masculinity, Christian Catholic common sense, in a sea of angry, ugly cat ladies. Single cat ladies. This portion of the program brought to you by the Founders Trading Post Store. Let me throw this great deal out to you guys again. 20% off. I didn't put any items in there that you can't get 20% off. So 20% off. Take 20% off. Shop.mikechurch.com. Try a bag if you haven't tried it. My Capuchin Holy Roast Coffee. It's made right here in Abita Springs, Louisiana, right down the road. Dude roasted it on Monday, and it was here Monday morning at about noon here. Fraser stopped by and dropped off 100 bags. This stuff, and the house smells delightful. The garage smells so good. This is a blended coffee. It's the best that we've ever offered. We're so proud of it, and so glad we were able to make this connection with my friend Kyle, the owner of Abita Springs roasting company right down the road here. I mean, folks, it really is good. We drink it pretty much every day. We rotate some of our other great coffees that we have. Twin Pikes Roastery we have there. Borromeo Roast and the La Eterna Guatemala, the King St. Louis. That's a blend roast. Cafe St. Louis. We have the Brothers from Abbey Roast. It's all there. With Casey Means' great book, Good Energy. We have David McCullough's book, 1776, John Adams, you name it, The Great Bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge book. I can't wait to read that book if I live long enough to the holiday break this year. Shop with us in the Founders Trading Post store today. Take 20% off. Use the coupon code GARBAGE. Shop.mikechurch.com, coupon code GARBAGE. Where were we at with the digital media files? By the way, it has been discovered, for those of you keeping track of such things, it hath been discovered, here's the headline. Elon Musk launches investigation after the Federalists exposed Harris campaign's social media manipulation. We all knew that they were doing this. What they do is they have these bots. They have these people that are basically paid stooges. And they monitor what comes out on the campaigns. And then they pretend as though they're regular Joes. And then they make comments on it. Go, oh, this is the greatest thing. That's the greatest thing. No, that's the greatest. This is the greatest thing. No, that's the greatest thing. She's going to restore America. She's not going to do anything of the sort because she's not going to win. Now, I'm going to say this again, and we should all, today is the vigil of All Hallows Eve. The vigil of All Hallows Eve, Halloween. Tomorrow is the Feast of All Saints Day. By the way, dispensation tomorrow. You know all the meat you want? I'm going to have me a filet. You know what? Screw it. I might have a porterhouse tomorrow. But it's a great day. Tomorrow also, I haven't talked about this because I didn't tell anyone at our soon-to-be new flagship channel the promos that they asked me to cut. I cut 6 promos. I should play them. I cut 6 promos, and we went with a campaign on our new flagship station, which I will tell you all about tomorrow morning because the 6 a.m. hour, you're going to want to be here because we're going to be live on the air in New Orleans, the Mike Church Show, for the first time in 27 years. Now, I have been guest on other people's shows here in New Orleans, but I haven't hosted my show in New Orleans since 1997. So 6 a.m. hour tomorrow morning. That's going to happen on the Feast of All Saints Day. We're going to have a big first hour rollout. It'll be a big party. Be with us tomorrow. And then, of course, Tuesday, Election Day, we are live all day. Start telling your friends and family, hey, dude, I know whose election night coverage you ought to watch. You ought to watch the Crusade channels. We get rave reviews on our election night coverage. You're going to want to be here for the big win. Now, let's just go back why I don't think. Well, number one, their polls. I keep telling people, dude, if he's getting beaten within the margin of error, he's winning by 10. Well, Trump is up in most of the polls in all the swing states. There are an outlier, 2 or 3, depending on which state it is, that do show that the shape is supposedly in the lead, et cetera, et cetera. I keep saying what your eyes are telling you, what you are hearing out there, people do not want this malaise. There is simply no happy, and I believe people vote for good outcomes. Killing babies is not a good outcome. Contracepting the next generation away is not a good outcome. Chopping the balls and boobs off of teenagers is not a good, happy outcome. It just isn't. All of these things that creature is out there campaigning on are misery. It's misery. She's not qualified to be a candidate for the presidency. Watch my video on my X page. I can't put it on YouTube because they banned it. So you have to get it at x.com/TheKingDude, but it's there. Her mother, and just for new listeners that are coming into the Crusade Radio Network, look at that. You have over 1,000 views today on YouBoob already. For those of you that are new, and thank you for checking us out on YouTube and for joining or considering joining the Crusade Radio Network. I'm just going to give you the 30,000-foot Cliff Note version. Here it is. Her mother and her father, Mr. Harris, came from Jamaica. He was a Jamaican citizen, came to the University of California, Berkeley to get a PhD and basically in socialism. Her mother was sent from India to go to California, Berkeley, to get a PhD in basically socialism as well, the humanities or whatever it was she was there to study. Neither one of them came to the United States to become citizens, and they didn't. So the Shape and her sister were born of 2 nationalists who were not American citizens at the time of her birth. They didn't even attempt to be American citizens. This birthright, there's 2 rules. It's lex sanguine and lex soli. The law of the soil and law of the blood. Under neither one is she even an American citizen. She's a birthright citizen. That is going to get taken. Lindsey Graham has got a bill, and I believe Trump will encourage them to pass that bill in the Senate and sign that damn thing and end this insanity of birthright citizenship. Even if you go with birthright citizenship is not natural born. Look it up. Or don't look it up. Just follow me. I will tell you. I don't want to hear it. As far as choosing presidents go, we live in 1787 when the Constitution was written, and then 1788 when it was ratified. What did the ratifier say was a natural-born citizen? After that, shut up. I don't want to hear your stupid Wong versus Kemark arguments. You're a dumbass. Don't quote it to me, because I'm going to shoot you down. You're going to lose. End of discussion. Until they amend the Constitution, a natural-born citizen has to have come from a male who was naturalized. That's it. Katie barred the door. Shut up. That's the qualification. And by the way, President Trump's father was a naturalized citizen. You're like, well, Trump would have been. Does it matter what his mother was, stupid? Again, I don't care what someone said in 1895. I don't care what the Supreme Court said in 1898, the Wong versus Kemark. I don't care. It does not change that clause in the Constitution, and until you amend the Constitution and you change it forcefully by affirmation, it doesn't matter. Natural-born citizen, she's not qualified. I made this case when she ran when Biden picked her. I said she's not eligible. She can't be president. She can't be next in line. I do not believe that God is going to abandon the United States. I believe that God's going to give us another shot. He loves us. I think you should pray for that outcome. And I think that the good guys are going to win one. And I think we're going to win one big. You know why? Because people are tired of running around being miserable. They're tired of being told they're deplorable and they're garbage bags and they're Nazis and they're fascists. They're tired of being told that they suck because they work at real jobs or because they have bad accents. They're tired of being told that somehow they're less than good citizens because they don't live in high rises in inner cities. Screw all that. The good American, there's goodness out there in this land, and it's going to come out, and you watch what's going to happen Tuesday. You watch the turnout Tuesday. Now, are they going to try to suppress it? Of course they are. They're not stupid. They're not going to win. Look at the Senate races. You talk about a tsunami here. Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia. I think Hung Cow is going to beat Tim Kaine. If I lived in Virginia, it wouldn't even be close. So, be of good cheer. Stop this wringing of your hands. Just do what President Trump is doing. You take they made fun of, they called you garbage. It shows up in a garbage truck. Hey, folks, this is a return to some sense of normalcy. And the Corona doom is what screwed it up. You know, tomorrow night I am giving the opening remarks at Dr. Tom Bonen's Wellness Summit. And he told me, he goes, I want you to just talk about, who you are, what your career is made out of, and then why you were one of the few people in broadcasting that saw what was happening with COVID from the get-go. So let me just give you a preview. How did I see it? Well, the same way I saw it through Al Gore's hole in the ozone layer. I looked it up. Remember the Swiss opposition research, Dr. Dude? We knew in February of 2020, we knew why the Lombard region in Italy, why so many people were coming down sick with the flu then, and why so many of them seemingly were dying of it. I mean, we knew why. It's because of the geographic location and the fact that that's where Italian industry is. That's where the air is dirtier. It's not as clean. The population is an average 10 years older. And guess what else? They have a large population of Chinese immigrants. In any event, the answers are out there to this. So how do we know? And this is how I know. Yeah, but TK, the polls are saying this and that. I don't care what the polls are saying. And by the way, the polls were basically all turning. They're turning Japanese. They're turning Maganese. I think they're turning Maganese. I really think so. From an 80s song. But there's something else about the shape. And I'm going to do that piece from the Federalist about the shape. Men and women of goodwill. Probably 2/3 of the American Shersons. There is a third out there that are just bastards. True. I say 2/3 of them are men and women of goodwill, only want to be led and will be led by men, I could throw women in, of goodwill. When she proceeds to lie and just repeat as campaign slogans and as promises and threats, lies, that's not goodwill. There's no good in it. There's will, but there's nothing good in it. Now, I know that the bad guys and evil people win things all the time. I am well aware. They don't win all the time. The good guys do win. And good does triumph over evil. Even when it loses, take the deplorable. Take the garbage. You're garbage. Even when the good, yeah, you got it, Biden called you garbage. Yeah, who's laughing now? Let's see here. We already played the RFK Jr. But play the one where Mark Cuban gets smacked down by Bill O'Reilly. Again, does Mark Cuban operate out of goodwill? I do not believe that he does, and I never liked the guy. Never. So this guy comes on, and God bless Dana White. Dana White is just sitting there listening to Cuban just vomit Just vomit lies like the Shape. Just going on, and Dana White just sitting there going, oh, God, get me out of this. And finally, to his credit on News Nation, maybe I should audition for a gig on News Nation. If they could hire Chris Cuomo, they could sure as hell use a Mike Church. Finally, Bill O'Reilly jumps in and goes like, okay, I've heard enough. You're just wrong, dude. Credit to O'Reilly. Watch.
Dana, I love you. You're so wrong. Trump, inflation was up 25% over the Obama economy he inherited. Ask him about Yemen, where he decided not to take action and allowed 100,000 people to keep on dying in Yemen. Talk to him about his tariffs. What worked with his tariffs?
I got to do it. Stop the tape quickly. Just stop just for a second here. Yemen happened under Obama. The cholera and all that happened under Obama. You got the wrong years, jackass. Roll the tape.
China kicked his ass. China took him to court, right? Because he didn't know how tariffs worked, and it hurt the economy. The economy was rolling along, and it got so hit by the tariffs that his appointment to the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, had to come back in and cut interest rates 3 times. And then we get to the real point of reckoning, the pandemic. And what does he do? He says, if we don't test people, the viruses didn't really happen. He holds back on resources, except for Vladimir Putin, to keep people from getting healthy. That is not an accomplished president.
Just a lie.
He has not done anything. What he got, he inherited.
All right, I got to jump in here
his personal wealth.
He inherited it. I got to jump in with course corrections here. Number one, the real wages, which is really the only economic barometer for the folks, was up 8.2% in the 4 years Trump was president. 8.2 across the board for working Americans. Fact. Under Biden-Harris, it is around 1%. No COVID pandemic. They have failed. Number two, inflation didn't start because Putin and the Arabs did anything. Inflation started, and I don't know whether you know this, Mr. Cuban, but Biden signed in his first week in office at least 20 executive orders, making it harder for every fuel company to harvest their product, whether it be fracking or oil or anything. The fuel company said, holy you know what, we're going to get hosed because our prices to get the stuff out of the ground are quadrupling, so we're going to do it retail now. That's what ignited it, not Putin and not Saudi Arabia. That is the truth.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live!
He didn't really say that at that gathering, if you're wondering. Where'd that come from? That's an old... what was that show? Entertainment Tonight? I think it was Entertainment Tonight. Hey, we got to do the. We have to do the Sting roll afterwards. I do it. What? We got to do what? The promo for tomorrow. Okay, here we're 3, 2. It's very funny. Watch the bit. This revisionist history here. You know, here's what I want to know. Do they actually think when somebody like Cuban goes on and says it, does he actually think that this is going to work? I mean, at the end of the day, if I come to you and I say, and I plan to say something to you, I'm not going to say it to you unless I have a plan or at least an expectation it's going to work. Does he have the expectation? Because all he got was golf clap. At the end of O'Reilly's correction, and then after Dana White goes, the crowd erupts. Lies, lies, lies. Now, remember back in 2008, what did Obama actually run on? Hope and change. You're going to bring hope and change to a new generation of leaders. He actually did. You can say what you want about it, and I think it was rotten, but he actually did bring a new generation of leadership, so to speak. He did campaign on hope and change, and you see he actually had something that he promised. John McCain was the worst Republican candidate until Mitt Romney, who was then the worst Republican candidate that the party had ever fielded. You know, McCain gave away everything because McCain was a leftard. And so McCain didn't have any room to stand on. McCain's going like, well, I'll see your housing subsidy $20,000 and I'll raise you $5,000. But at least Obama actually campaigned for something. All the shape is out there doing is campaigning against and trying to scare people. Talk about fear-mongering. I don't know how someone could sit through an entire rally of hers. I don't even call it a rally. It's more like a funeral. It's more like a wake. The only thing that's missing is a dead person. Give them enough time. They may kill. They may abort a baby on stage. They get desperate enough and maybe we're going to show you what you get with a Harris-Walsh regime. You get abortions. I've been on the side of the fence that says for many years now that that's what they ought to do. Put your baby-killing money where your mouth is. If it's so great and you want all young ladies to do it, well, then let's have one experience it live on camera. Go ahead, do it. Frank Luntz, Maggie. We got enough time to squeeze Pumpkinhead Frank Luntz in. Now, again, combine the McDonald's, serving the fries, working the drive-up window with the garbage truck here. This is America's guy. You can oppose him on whatever policy, and I do, and we will. Number 6. But the garbage truck, this is someone that's accomplished things in life, who has a great sense of humor, and has got a team that can actually get this stuff done like this.
His comments seemingly describing Trump supporters as, quote, garbage. The Harris campaign is trying to downplay the effect of those comments. Of course they are. But I wonder if you think that those comments are going to move voters.
It's going to be huge because this is not some comedian saying something stupid and offensive at a rally where he should have been basically disinvited. This is the president of the United States endorsing his vice president saying something. And I know that there's different interpretations about what he said. It's still inappropriate. He still shouldn't be doing it. And I've watched Trump already seize this. The basket of deplorables was significant, was meaningful in 2016. In 2024, I can promise you that this is going to drive Trump turnout. He's doing it already. I can see, I'm sure there's going to be ads on as soon as tonight about this.
Oh, there already are.
This may be a turning point for those final 3%, and that's all it is.
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Radio Network News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Thursday, October the 31st, 2024. This report is brought to you by MyLearning.com. Give microlearning a try and watch your employees flourish in skills you never thought possible. Book your free consultation today at MyLearning.com/KingDude. In the market report, all 3 major indexes were down at last close. The Dow Jones 0.22%, the S&P 0.33%, NASDAQ was down 0.33%. In National Day calendar news, today is National Doorbell Day. It's also Girl Scout Founders Day. Girl Scouting in the United States of America began on March the 12th of 1912 when Juliette Gordon Low organized the first Girl Scout troop meeting. There were 18 girls present. It's also National Magic Day and Knock Knock Joke Day. It's National Caramel Apple Day, and it's Halloween, of course. Our quote of the day, let us make the best use of the fleeting moments. They will not return. Marianne Cope. And our saint of the day, Saint Wolfgang of Regensburg. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News.
Hey, my Pitmaster bros, it's summer, and I want to make sure you have everything you need to rule your family's barbecue taste buds. Remember to smoke your meats at low temps for long times with southern hardwoods like pecan and mesquite. And to make sure you've got the best blend of seasoning there is, stock up on my award-winning Beast in Butt Rub. Right now, you can get 2 bottles for just $20, our biggest discount ever. To claim this deal and get my new 50-50 sweet and fire rib recipe, head on over to shop.mikechurch.com. That's shop.mikechurch.com.
Did you know that the rosary began as a tool to give laity a form of common prayer like what was being prayed in monasteries? and monasteries were praying all 150 psalms from the Bible. But most laity couldn't afford a Bible, and most couldn't read, so they began praying the Our Father 150 times a day. Today, the Rosary is prayed by millions, and each one is a work of art. There is no finer maker of this art than Maggie O'Connell and the Little Bayou Rosary. Find her rosary creations today at shop.mykechurch.com.
Folks, back in the day when women were women and men weren't, you only needed a half dozen resources to keep up with the news. It's almost impossible to stay informed without previewing and fact-checking till your eyes turn MAGA red. That's why you should sign up for my new daily email newsletter, The Church Doctrine Daily, with my quote of the day, lead show topic, and 3 stories Crusaders can't do without. Subscribing is easy and free at mikechurch.com/dude.
Maggie O'Connell is the Mike Church Show's producer, and she used to be a people person. But people cured her of that.
I walk along the city streets you used to walk along with me. And every step I take reminds me of just how we used to be. Well, how can I forget you, girl? And there is always something there to remind me. Always something there to remind me.
This show delivers a very healthy dose of conservative Ozempic to help make you lose the weight, the crushing weight of white, MAGA, deplorable, Nazi, fascist, garbage guilt, and help make America great again. It's the Mike Church Show here on the High Testosterone Crusade Radio Network. Welcoming, who am I welcoming, Maggie? I want to thank Ginger Rain. Gosh, Ginger, thank you so much for... Ginger's out there crusading for the crusade. She just relocated the show 2 days ago. Like, dude, I didn't even know you were on the air. Last time Ginger had heard was on October the 27th, 2015. And I guess then the SiriusXM propaganda campaign did a really good job of convincing people that we quit. Because we parted company with them, that we lost our broadcasting skills and our chops. Didn't happen. Never missed a day since. Only gotten better. Who's the other lady that chopped into that you want? All right. Maggie is saying we're giving the prize pack away today to...
Lori Hammock Peterson.
Lori Hammock Peterson. Hammock. All right. Maybe condolences, maybe congratulations. Lori Hammock Peterson. Send Maggie your mailing address in whatever manner in which you are comfortable transferring it. And I'm going to the post office to send Ginger her, because Ginger was my 20,200th subscriber or follower on Twitter. And so on the YouTube, then Lori will make you the prize pack winner today. Keep subscribing, folks, and keep going to the Crusade Radio Network on YouTube, on Rumble, on X, and of course at crusadechannel.com. This portion of the program brought to you by Founders Trading Post store again, because there's a big sale today on All Hallows Eve. And to take 20% off, use the coupon code GARBAGE. It's also a Trump sale. Coupon code GARBAGE at checkout, and you can take 20% off. Shop.mikechurch.com. That's shop.mikechurch.com. I'm going to talk about the shape in just a moment here. We're not going to get to the shape right now because Mahgdalen Rose is on the Do Maker hotline here with us. And Mahgdalen is also part of our crack election night coverage team. And we will bring you the best round the clock, wall to wall, all day Tuesday, and all night election coverage, election night coverage. You can also join us in the Crusader Stadium chat room if you're a Founders Pass member. You go to crusadechannel.com/chat. Let me finish the thought, because I didn't really wrap it up on why I mentioned tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day. It is, by the way, Schaefer, that song was, so now that you're in, and I see Schaefer is Schaffelthought Teens in the chat room, that last song was dedicated to you. All the rest of you need to identify yourself as 1980s haters, like you identify yourself as Bee Gees haters, so that I can dedicate bumper music songs to you coming back, because it's going to be all 80s for a while. I got like 30 more than I downloaded yesterday, and I'm so excited to play. The 80s were the best decade. We had Reagan, we had Rocky, we had great movies, we had great music, and you know what? The 2024s are going to be similarly awesome. They're going to be great. Elon said it yesterday. This is going to be great. So tomorrow, All Saints Day, is the day that the New Orleans, the city of New Orleans was awarded an NFL franchise. Dave Dixon, who most people did not know, was a papal knight, a very good son of his city and a great Catholic. Conspired with then NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle to move the date of the name of the franchise and the awarding of the franchise and the naming of it to All Saints Day, 1966. And on that day, Rozelle came to New Orleans, and he was there with Dixon and with the mayor. I forget who the mayor was at the time, and the Archbishop. I want to say it was Archbishop Rummel. Maybe it was Hannon. And they were all there, and they announced that the children had a newspaper, the Times-Picayune stateside of it had a contest. What to name the new New Orleans football team? The children chose the Saints. We've been cursed ever since. But nonetheless, tomorrow on All Saints Day, coincidence, Mike Church Show returns to the New Orleans airwaves. You know what? I forgot to tell you this. I met a listener of that radio station, and I told him, because I mentioned, he goes, really? He goes, I listen to that station. And I said, okay. And I said, well, I'm going to be doing the 6 to 7 a.m. hour. And he goes, that's fantastic. They need it. Looking forward to it. All right, so all that's happening tomorrow. Be here for All Saints Day. It's going to be a great free phone Friday. And we're going to be simulcasting on, well, I'll tell you the name. I said it once. Some of you Sharpies will know. That's why the press releases and all that never went out. Because it's a who am I that's running on that radio station right now. No one knows who will show up tomorrow morning, but we'll reveal it all. Mahgdalen Rose, our campaign affairs correspondent, and who lives in the Tennessee apartment complex equivalent of living in an apartment complex in Lebanon, is on our Dude Maker line for our campaign update this morning. Good morning, Mahgdalen.
Good morning. Thank you very much for that intro.
Well, you know, come on. I had to help you make fun of your situation. It's so bad. This is like the third time she sent me messages in the last 6 months that she moved to Tennessee. You're not going to believe what they're doing. You probably won't believe me, but they're really doing it, and it's really loud, and it's really annoying, and I can't go on air. So this morning, this is the State Farm Arena now. There's pipes bursting out there. You have Democrats that are showing up to pretend like they're fixing it. We're not going to talk about that because we have great stuff to talk about. What about using the garbage, the garbage insult, and then just taking it on the chin, having fun with it? Vivek Ramaswamy shows up in Pennsylvania with Benny Johnson riding on the back of a garbage truck, helps the team that he's riding with actually pick the garbage up. This is the most epic troll in political history, I think.
It's fantastic, and I love that he's doing it. What I love even more is that he's continuing to wear the vest. He does an entire rally while wearing that vest. And I think the takeaway from this is that Kamala Harris's campaign lacks humor, intelligence, and a real ability to seize the moment. Because she does a speech that's supposed to be her closing argument to the presidential election and race. Nobody even covered it. But yet Biden says one nasty comment, and Trump is riding around in a garbage truck in Wisconsin answering questions. A part of me really thinks that Joe Biden is sabotaging this campaign. I don't see how you couldn't see that at this point. He knows what he was doing. Maybe he hates her so much and is upset so much that she took his place that he's willing to go all in for Donald Trump at this point.
Well, it sure seems like he usurped her at the closing argument. He usurped her at the, what was the other one that he just happened to show up, her big night? Oh, it was their big interview night, and then that interview was going to air, and instead he shows up, and the national news has to cover him. Yeah, I don't know if he meant to say garbage, but she didn't get any. She got no play, none, from the closing argument. The entire world is now filled with dancing garbage can memes.
Wonderful. And not even just that. People who I think were not really paying attention to politics, it's done this wonderful thing of it's debunked this idea that Joe Biden is this nice guy who never says anything mean, this sort of ridiculousness that he's this grandfatherly figure. People are now realizing not only is that not true, but he's one of the biggest problems that Kamala Harris has. So now every time I open my Twitter timeline, I see, oh, well, just join us in being garbage, people posing next to garbage cans. To go after, to say garbage at this point, her campaign chair and her strategist must have just hung their heads in like terror.
Well, I mean, if you were advising that campaign, there's really nothing that you could advise them to do. I don't know. Would you show up in a vest and just start mimicking or mocking Trump?
I don't know. I mean, I would just apologize profusely. I would just apologize and apologize and apologize to the point where it was embarrassing. Because what else do you do? How do you combat the sitting U.S. president saying in the election season, well, half the supporters are garbage? I mean, did they learn nothing from the basket of deplorables comment? It really seems like they've learned nothing from that.
Or that they did learn something from it, and as you said, he did it intentionally.
Well, in that case, the hatred that he must have for Kamala Harris, we've all underestimated. Because if he's doing that, and I think that is what happens, she must be a nightmare within the sort of West Wing atmosphere. And we've had reports of that Jill Biden really hates her, that she's been a nightmare. I think that might be what's happening here. But on the flip side of that, where is her counter? Like, where is her distancing herself or saying anything? She and Tim Walsh are like hiding on planes on the tarmac trying to dodge reporters at this point.
Well, she did. Do we have the clip, Maggie? She did respond. You have it in the cut sheet. I saw it. I thought it was on the Shiite because she did. She was asked about it. Wait, here's what I think. Digital media file number 2. This is what I think. I don't want to make fun of anyone. There's no one that I want to make fun of. She is so annoying. So that voice is so annoying. But here it is.
President Biden took his comment last night about garbage.
Listen, I think that, first of all, he clarified his comments, but let me be clear, I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. You heard my speech last night and continuously throughout my career. I believe that the work that I do is about representing all the people, whether they support me or not. And as President of the United States, I will be a president for all Americans, whether you vote for me or not. That is my responsibility, and that's the kind of work that I've done my entire career, and I take it very seriously.
So look, she's not an orator. She's terrible. She's an awful public speaker. You know, one of the things that you have to do, and I don't know if you have any experience with this, but I certainly have years of it. One of the things that you learn when you are an orator and you're a public speaker, and if you're going to be any good at it, you kind of like, and don't take this the wrong way, you find some people in the crowd, in the audience, and you make love to them. Now, I don't mean figuratively speaking, but you pick out someone that's really enjoying and into what you're saying, and you use them. You focus on them, and you go, and you can always go, find one on the left side of the room, find one on the right side, find one in the center, and you can always go, and nobody really knows that you're looking at them, but you're talking to that person, and you're getting affirmation back, right? You get a head nod up, or you get a head shake, no, you get a smile, or you get a, oh, no, dude, don't do that. This is the art of good public speaking. Trump has it. I saw it personally at the Cobo Center for the People's Convention. I was right there. I was 60 feet away from him, and I watched him do it. I'm going like, God, this guy is good. I mean, people underestimate just how good he is at working a crowd. I mean, it's simply stunning. She doesn't have that.
No, she doesn't. And she's not trying to get it. But she also picked a VP who doesn't have it. So they're constantly faced with this issue of who do we send out on the campaign trail to say anything? And now J.D. Vance has sat down with Joe Rogan, so what they're saying is 4 hours of conversation. Can you imagine Kamala Harris doing 4 hours of anything, any type of campaigning whatsoever? She's never going to be able to do it. So I think that one of the few things that's been left unsaid in this campaign is that she does not have the stamina to be president. Neither her nor Tim Walz do. They should discuss that on the Trump side a little bit. Because she has not proven that she's capable of keeping it up, of being able to keep up the media appearances, the grind that is being president. And Trump, in his older age than her, has clearly been able to not only keep going, but he's actually getting like a second wind. He looks younger. He looks more involved. That's not something you can create in a D.C. think tank.
Mahgdalen Rose, our campaign affairs correspondent on the Dude Maker hotline here with us at 844-527-8723. Mahgdalen, yes or no? Should Trump, somebody suggested this yesterday. I know who it was. It was Dana Perino suggested that, well, I would advise the Trump campaign to do in the final days is make peace with Nikki Haley and bring Nikki Haley out on the campaign trail. Would you advise that?
Yes, I think there's nothing you lose by doing it. Once you brought on the libertarians, you can't really do badly by bringing on sort of the moderate Republicans who can help you win over suburban white women. So why not? I would do it, and I think that in general, Nikki Haley would be open to it. She doesn't seem to harbor the same kind of resentment and hatred towards him that she used to. So invite Nikki Haley on the campaign trail. Get as many women out there as you can to speak to suburban women. I think the weakest state we have right now is Wisconsin. Wisconsin, to me, from the polling, from the data, it seems like is the one he's having the most trouble with that we used to conventionally win. Sending those women to Wisconsin, the suburbs there, talking to suburban white moms, that would be enormously beneficial at this point.
Okay, so the event with Brett Favre and the garbage truck and all that had to have big media impact in Wisconsin last night and probably today, I would imagine. All the radio shows are probably talking about it. So I would imagine that if they were already within striking distance using the enemy's polls. So, yeah. So bringing Nikki Haley on the trail, you know what else you might? And as much as I disagree, and I don't want Melania out there talking about abortion, certainly, if you really need to win Wisconsin, bring freaking Melania and Nikki Haley.
Yeah, he should, and he should get as many female surrogates as he can. You know, Melania has sort of been very much checked out this election cycle. I don't think she's particularly interested in politics, but that's fine. But she could help close this at the end. She could go out there, she could soften Trump's image, and that's what the first lady's really supposed to do. They're supposed to help soften the image. So if she could go out there, if she could talk to him, I think it would be helpful to talk for him. I think that would be helpful. Also because, I don't know if you've seen the videos Tim Walz's wife has been putting out of her like baking. They're really creepy. They're really weird. She does not seem comfortable in front of the camera at all. It's an odd way that they're filmed. So the Kamala Harris campaign has gotten no help from Tim Walz's supposed like suburban knockout wife.
They're weirdos to begin with. This is like
weird videos.
This should be like recruiting Tom Hanks to put his weirdo fetish with posting pictures of children on Instagram to put that as part of your campaign. It's just weird. There's a weird vibe. I think those people are just like weird, and I mean weird, strange, like in a John Podesta kind of way. And the fact that Podesta, oh my Lord, who is running this campaign? Who in the hell told? Well, who in the hell told them to go put John Podesta on a stage?
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder who's running the Kamala Harris campaign. I'd love to know. There doesn't seem to be a clear answer on that. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but We see the Trump campaign officials. We see little snippets of them, and they come up and they're giving their expertise. Who's giving their expertise, aside from James Carville on MSNBC, about the Kamala Harris campaign? Who's in charge of it? There doesn't seem to be anyone in charge of it, and I wonder if that's because no one wants to claim the role in case they lose.
Well, I think it's becoming clearer and clearer that it's not a matter if they lose. It's a matter of how large they're going to lose, and they're probably on DEFCON 1 now. Again, how are we going to stop him from being inaugurated? I think that the big untold story, Mahgdalen, is, we'll talk more about this tomorrow, Monday, and certainly Tuesday night. The big untold story, this is the big story here. There's a bunch of House races that were close last time that the Republicans didn't win. You flip a half a dozen or 10 of those, maintain the majority you have, and now you're up in the high 220s and high 230s. You can have defections. You can have small defections in the GOP caucus, and you still get an agenda through. You flip if Sam Brown, Hung Cao, Marino, who's the guy in Pennsylvania? He's close.
Yeah.
And then the dude in Michigan is within the margin of error as well, and so is the guy in Wisconsin. You flip those Senate seats, and you got a 55 or 56 vote member of the United States Senate. And remember, Wisconsin or West Virginia, you're losing one automatically because of Manchin. You flip those Senate seats, you give Trump a decisive electoral vote victory. That's a mandate to do things. You got Elon Musk in there, going in there with his $2 trillion, I'm going to slash. That's a mandate to do really good things. You want to cut inflation immediately? Cut $2 trillion of spending. Off the top. Just cut it. And just deal with the consequences of it, because ultimately, in a year, those consequences will work themselves out.
They will, and I think Trump knows that. And what I find interesting is that there's no discussion by Democrats about their governor races whatsoever. They're just being silent about them, and I think that's because they don't want to discuss them in case they're not super underwater. And suddenly the Trump campaign realizes they could throw some more resources there. But also because on a state level, people are so deeply unhappy in Democrat states. Even if they won't admit it, they're still very unhappy. So they don't want to get in a place where they look around and go, well, maybe I hate Trump. Maybe I won't vote for Trump, but I might vote for my Republican governor, or I might vote for a Republican governor because I'm so frustrated. So I wonder why Democrats aren't discussing governor races at all. I think that's interesting, and I think the Trump campaign has done a great job in staying out of the primary process enough that nominees for Republican governorship are truly viable in each state.
Well, one final thing for Mahgdalen Rose, our campaign affairs correspondent. For the first time since this race began, Kari Lake is now leading in all the significant polls in Arizona. That is a revenge election there. If Kari Lake wins Arizona, Trump wins Arizona. If Trump wins Arizona, Kari Lake wins Arizona. And it looks to me, I just saw the RCP average, he's up 1.6 in Arizona. Arizona is a state that the shape is in campaigning today. They know, she's in Nevada and Arizona. They know that the blue line is quite possibly going to fail. So they're trying to shore up a couple of electoral votes on the back end. This is not good for them.
No, it's not. And if we win Arizona, it will be a final defeat of the McCain nonsense that family has inflicted upon the country. The selfishness of Cindy McCain, the late John McCain's wife, cannot be overstated. To campaign for Joe Biden, to help take Arizona from the Republican pile because of comments Trump made about somebody who did nothing for the Republican Party. It's ridiculous and extremely frustrating. I hope we win Arizona and the McCain dynasty and nonsense is finally defeated there.
Let's do it. All right, Mahgdalen. Now, what is Ben addressing? Her first little Halloween. What is she going as?
She is Princess Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I will send you a picture.
That's awesome. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. God bless you. Thank you.
Yep. Right.
Okay. All right, folks, I only have enough time to start my Halloween tradition and talk about the shape. The piece is at thefederalist.com, why the original Halloween movie's horror is ageless. And if you want to know and get the full explanation on the shape, well, I think we're just going to carry this segment onto YouTube as a YouBoob exclusive. It'll take me about 10 minutes to do my little dramatic reading of why the shape is the shape, because I think it's epic. And I want everyone to understand, when I call Kamala Harris the Shape. Yes, I am calling her the killer in the Halloween movie. She is the Shape. After 4 decades of sequels, imitations, parodies, and remakes, it can be a little surprising to return to the original Halloween and find what a unique film it truly is, writes David Brittenbeck. This is back in 2018 at The Federalist. The story is, of course, familiar. 6-year-old Michael Myers stunningly stabs his sister to death on Halloween and is committed to an insane asylum for life. Exactly 15 years later, he escapes and returns to his hometown of Haddonfield, where he targets shy teenager Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, and her 2 friends, Annie and Linda. Meanwhile, his therapist, Dr. Loomis, that's played by star actor Donald Pleasance, who alone knows what Myers truly is, tries to hunt him down and stop him. Watching Halloween and knowing what came after is an interesting experience. The film was copied so much that it essentially spawned an entire subgenre of blood-soaked films wherein masked serial killers stalked and murdered promiscuous teenagers in ever more lurid ways. So we will pick this up on the other side of the end of the program. I want to thank all of you for watching and listening here on the Crusade Radio Network. Kevin Turley is live with a brand new Turley's Believe It or Else. Fiorella's live with a Fiorella Files book review today. And, of course, when news breaks out, we will break in here on the Crusade Radio Network. Don't forget the coupon code GARBAGE is a 20% off sale all day in my Founders Trading Post store. Shop with us at shop.mikechurch.com. We'll see you in just about 15 seconds on the YouTube. But God bless you and Mary keep you.
I'm going where the water tastes like wine.
All right, so back to the annual reading and talking about The Shape and the Halloween movie and horror movies in general here, and why I call Kamala The Shape. Well, it's all contained in this piece here from 2018 by David Brittenbeck at thefederalist.com. Of course, if you're I actually saw the Halloween movie as a teenager. I saw it in 1978 when it came out. I was 16 years old, scared the bejesus belt out of me. I remember my mother took all of us kids, who were all elderly teenagers, at the behest of my oldest sister, who encouraged us. Oh, I heard it was really good. That night, we all slept in the same bed with our mother. We were so terrified of Michael Myers of The Shape coming to get us. So, let's pick up where we left off here and just talk a little bit about this. This is one of these films, and I don't think it's appreciated enough for it. You know, if you look carefully as you're watching Halloween, this is supposed to happen in Haddonfield, Illinois. Well, why are there palm trees at the end of the street? Look carefully. When Laurie Strode is walking down the street, and you look into this and go like, that's a palm tree. Well, because they filmed it in L.A. Okay, here we go. Taken with Dr. Loomis's pronouncements of The Shape's inhuman nature. Wait a minute, I left. To understand this film, it is necessary to understand its monsters. Or its monster. The thing in Halloween is usually referred to as Michael Myers, the name of the young boy in the opening. However, that's not how Nick Castle is credited. He's listed as playing The Shape. That's just it, The Shape. What is a shape? It's a form without matter. A circle has the same nature, whether rendered in wood, ink, smoke, or mathematical notation. Thus, the shape in Halloween is some form or reality that can materialize in many different ways, but always with the same nature. Taken with Dr. Loomis's pronouncements of the shape's inhuman nature, and especially with his final exchange with Strode, it was the boogeyman, she says, and he replies, as a matter of fact, it was. The implication is that the shape is in fact a supernatural manifestation of evil. It isn't Myers. He is only the material the shape uses to give itself substance. This is why it always wears a mask, to the point that when Laurie briefly tears it off, the shape pauses its assault to redon the mask. Now, there's so much going on here. This is basically a possession. At the end of the day, the body is being possessed by a demon that wants to kill humans. So that's what's going on here, which is why, if you follow the canon of Halloween, is why he can never be killed, because he's not a man. Even when they burn him to death, he finds a way to come back. The shape needs a disguise to give itself substance. It needs a mask of some sort. Even Myers himself is the shape's mask. This, of course, explains everything. The shape cannot be killed because it's not a person, but a supernatural entity. This is the same reason it has inhuman strength. He strangles a German shepherd, he kills a dog, right, with his bare hands, and some power over its environment because it seems to be able to lock and unlock doors from a distance. It also explains the shape's eerily unnatural behavior. Not just its senseless murders, but the way it simply does strange things at times, such as when it appears in front of Linda wearing a ghost costume and then just stands there. Or when, after dispatching another victim, it pauses and thoughtfully tilts its head back and forth as though studying its handwork. It pulls a really good Buckshot. Buckshot does this all the time. Hey, Buckshot, and he look at you like, do you want to go for a walk? He'll do that. Well, but Buckshot's not a shape. Are you, little Buckshot? Is he hearing me calling his name? He's in the other room. It's a good thing because he'd be in here squeezing a squeaky ball and ruining the broadcast. Likewise, there doesn't seem to be any point to much of its behavior. For example, why the tableau with Annie's body and Judith Myers' gravestone? Now, this is the sister he kills in the opening scene. Or for that matter, why is it still targeting Laurie Strode at all? The shape, whatever its nature, is operating on a clearly alien mentality to anything we, the audience, can understand. It isn't human. None of this is explicitly spelled out in the film, but the implications are all there, particularly if you pay attention to Donald Pleasant's, the Dr. Loomis's dialogue. The shape represents evil itself, or at least the potential for evil that lurks in every community. This brings us to Haddonfield and its inhabitants. A large part of the power of Halloween comes from how persuasively ordinary the setting and the characters are. Haddonfield is a kind of quiet, peaceful little town where just about everyone knows everyone. Kids walk to school unsupervised. Teenagers get jobs babysitting their neighbors' children. Likewise, Laurie Strode and her two friends are presented as perfectly normal teenagers, possibly the most convincing such ever to appear in a horror film. Like in the beginning of the movie, you don't know when Jamie Lee Curtis has that sweater on and she's walking down the street, she's swinging her books that she's humming, and then you see the shape appear from out behind the bushes. You don't have any idea, if you watched the film for the first time, what's actually going to happen. Laurie is more shy and studious than her two friends, but she envies rather than disapproves of their behavior. And they, in turn, don't tease her for her reticence and try to help her break out of her shell. Laurie is smart and responsible with a great relationship with her young charge, Tommy, but not above sharing a joint with Linda on her way to a babysitting job. In other words, she's a normal person, a good kid, but not idealized. This is exactly where the horror lies, though, here, folks. Laurie's a perfectly decent, ordinary teenage kid of the kind you would meet in any school in any town in America, and she ends up the target of an unthinkably evil force, and for no other reason than that she happened to cross his path. There is a queasily real-world quality to much of the very early stages of Laurie's ordeal. The shape follows her around town, silently watching her. It doesn't do anything, but its behavior is clearly not normal. It's not enough to make Laurie feel threatened. She just kind of feels uneasy, like, dude, what did I just see some goon in a dark green pantsuit or what do they call them? Overalls with a stupid white William Shatner mask on? Clocking me? Mean mugging me? Yeah, you did. Many people have experienced such a feeling at some point when they encounter someone who doesn't quite follow the social script, who steps over the line, but not too far. When you feel in danger, but not enough to really be scared, to make you break from routine, just enough to wonder. Lori's understandable response is to try desperately to ignore it all, to tell herself that she's imagining things or overreacting. Haddonfield is a peaceful, friendly little town, and Lori is a nice, normal kid. These sorts of things don't happen to people like her. But of course, that is precisely to whom they do happen. What's the old saying? Bad things happen to good people? Well, here you go. That's the premise of Halloween. And therein lies the horror. We want very much to think that we live in a safe, nice, civilized world where we can safely go about our lives and where that sort of thing will never happen to us. It ain't gonna happen to me, Brian. But however safe and nice and civilized the world around us, it retains the potential for evil and hence for that sort of thing. This is why Kamala Harris is the shape. She manifests herself in all forms, in all times, no matter where she's at, as the advocate and the promoter and defender of just the most diabolically evil and sinister things. Mutilating the body parts of children, that's evil. Having children pursue courses of action that are going to lead them to mortally sinful behavior into hell, but assuring them it's okay, no, go ahead and do that. Sin like you mean it. Sin boldly, like Luther said. But don't worry, here's this little pill. Well, the pill is not going to get you to heaven. As a matter of fact, the pill's going to double down on your sin. Who does this? That's why I call her the shape. As the chatty cemetery keeps telling Dr. Loomis, every town has something like this happen. Every community has some inexplicable evil in its history, or will at some point. We today are familiar with this. Names like Aurora, Parkland, Sandy Hook were once unknown except to those who had lived there. The nightly news brings us daily accounts of other nightmarish outrages, often flaring up in quiet, peaceful little towns where it seemed nothing terrible could happen. Yet, like Dr. Loomis's colleagues and the people of Haddonfield, we still don't quite understand what we're dealing with here. We futilely grasp at sensible solutions. We need more mental health research. Yeah, that'll fix it. We need more and better gun control laws. Yeah, that'll do it. We need a more rational foreign policy so as not to provoke terrorism. We need economic reform so that people won't be driven to crime. We need to teach men not to rape and own and own and own. Whether any of these things are actually needed is not the point. The point is that we are deluding ourselves. Nothing we do here on earth will eliminate evil from our midst. Evil is not a matter of a lack of education or economic desperation or bad laws or cultural norms or mental health. Evil, like love, is a choice. The choice to put the self first. By the way, you usual suspect cynics out there that see certain boogeymen and hobgoblins behind every tree, they're not behind every tree. They are there. And you better get used to it. As was said long ago, it's not what comes into a man that defiles him, but what comes out of him. Greed, lust, pride, irreverence, anger, hatred, and so on. All Kamala's traits, by the way. That is why even in the safest, friendliest, most peaceful place on earth, you can still find evil. The point of Halloween, then, is that there is no point. The shape doesn't have any larger agenda or recognizably human motivation. It's a really profound point about that movie. You go like, I think we have a demon in the room. Did you hear it? It just growled. Hey, I'm not going to call him Buckshot. If he keeps growling, I'm going to call him Buck Shape. Hey, Buck Shape. The shape doesn't have a larger agenda or recognizably human motivation. No trauma in its past no failure of education. It is simply and purely evil. You can't counsel it, medicate it, heal it, or kill it. This really is the lesson for us. When people seem to be evil, they probably are. When someone perpetrates a crime like pederasty or rape or whatever, if there's no reforming those people, lock them away or do them a favor, sentence them to die, get them a priest, give them a chance to confess and get right with God, and then carry out the execution if it's legal. He concludes, such is the case with all human evil. You can't kill evil or remove it from society. All you can do is be aware of it. Recognize it for what it is and do your best to keep it at bay. And so that's David Breitenbeck's piece at the Federalist.com from 2018. He is a writer and Catholic traditionalist living and working in Southeast Michigan. I choose this piece every year, and we read it every year, and I like to just share it with the audience. To just remember, you are the answer to the shape. If you leave the battlefield, whether it's an election year or not, if you just throw your hands up and everything is wrong and everything is rotten and I'm not going to participate because I'm going to lose anyway and evil's going to win, there is no assurance or guarantee that evil ever wins. Someone famous was quoted, but it's not Edmund Burke. No one knows who actually said it, but all that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. I think that's pretty accurate. When you declare that I'm not getting involved in society and in public life and in debates and stuff, and I'm just going to build my moat around my little enclave here and exist as a hermit and all that, you've just removed yourself from the battle. Of course the enemy is going to win. He's going to gain more ground. So what's the answer? Well, the answer is stand your ground. And if ground has been consecrated for Christ and it's not any longer, try to gain it back. But don't give up. Shapes can't triumph where good men are. And remember, the story of martyrs, martyrs die. That's not supposed to be a happy ending. But the story of a true martyr for Christ is a happy ending. They get the palm, the crown of holiness. They get a halo at the end. So this Halloween, it's All Hallows Eve. It's perfectly fine for your children to dress up and enjoy the day. Yeah, it's a vigil day for the adults. Skip a meal. Maybe you skip breakfast. Okay, you're good to go. Tomorrow is a big feast day. We'll see you for All Saints Day. And as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel right here on YouTube. Just click the bell button there. Give us the thumbs up. We're going to separate this out as a special, separate video. And I hope you'll share it with friends and family. Have a safe and blessed remainder of your All Hallows Eve day. We'll see you tomorrow for All Saints Day. Until then, stay clear of the shape. God bless you. And most of all, because he doesn't like her, Mary keep you.